Message brought to you by the National Police Association. To learn more about how to help law enforcement accomplish its goals, visit nationalpolice.org
and make the decision that's right for you. Go to getvaccineanswers.org for the latest information. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
September 1st. My name is Daniel, joined by Stefania and Field Yates. We have turned the page on August. Football season is officially here. It is September, my friends.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, The Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app.
All right, I'm going to make this real clear. We're off to a poor start.
We're off, yeah. Look,
I need you to pick to carry the slack here because I can't.
It's Labor Day, and we're laboring. And welcome into the show.
Yeah, I'm going to need you to carry the water because, frankly, I can't.
Well, I mean,
between a wedding, the Fighting Mike Houston's on Saturday, Appalachian State, North Carolina. I can't. And then Florida State last night. I mean, go Noles. I will. There will be an epic rant about Mike Norvell later in this program.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little hurty today.
It's Hangover Monday with football. It was fun. And thankfully that's just week one of all of it. Your instant reactions, or I guess delayed reactions, I guess since it's Monday and most of the games.
Well, here's the thing: we're about the only people working today because we're here for you.
That's right. That's the important thing. We are here. We are on the air. Maybe a few seconds late, but it's a holiday.
I said in the chat, the Wednesday morning show. I feel like it's a great time to disclose exactly what just happened.
I'm just saying. All right.
Little inside baseball.
Never
trust it. But
Never trusted.
The greatest part of the weekend was North Carolina football. 2 of the best games of the weekend came out of this state right here.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. The drama was great, but, I mean, you were expecting more. Come on, you were expecting more if you were a Carolina fan.
I don't think you could possibly be expecting more.
They
were defense. 1 point off the highest scoring fourth quarter in NCAA football history.
More damn defense is what I'm looking for.
I'm going to be honest with you. Police Chief David Zack, when I saw him Saturday, I said, if you have ever questioned how much I love and appreciate you, I need you to understand that I had tickets to that Carolina App State game that I had to give away. Best friend, App State fan, has not responded to a text in 2 days because he was the one coming with me.
Oh. It was a hell of a game.
Oh, it was fantastic.
It was a hell of a game. Carolina gave up 40 points in the fourth quarter. Yikes.
Something that you will there will be a trend in this show today of, I'm not saying that you have to be a rocket surgeon, but a little situational awareness goes a long way. I actually thought our buddy Jones Angel was going to have a full-on infarction on the broadcast. Mm-hmm. I had to listen to the last, 4 minutes of game time between App and NC State in my car on the way out. Mm-hmm. And I really thought Jones was going to swear on air. He is such a pro, too. But you can hear it in his voice of, come on! Just lay down!
Right.
You lay down, the game's over!
Right.
Then you get the unnecessary celebration, and I'm sitting here going, man, this would be the most god-awful way to lose a game in the history of time. You return an onside kick for a touchdown when you should have just Todd Gurley laid down.
Mm-hmm.
And it may not have been the worst way to lose a game in the state in that hour.
I took away 2 things from the Carolina App State game. First, I don't know what the season record for points scored by a UNC team is.
It's in grave danger.
But it is in massive danger of falling. I don't know how you stop these guys. And guess what? They did all this without Josh Downs.
Yeah.
Josh Downs did not play, in case you missed the game. Drake May is the dude.
Drake May is very good at football.
And this offense is terrifying.
So is the defense.
The defense is
but
God
not
awful.
Not in the good way.
That was my second takeaway from this game was, look, you got to find some defense when you play these tougher teams. Now, Appalachian State's a good team. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to slight them at all. But what I am saying is when you get into ACC play, pretty sure you're going to have to find some defense or you're going to be in shootout after shootout after shootout and hope to God that you don't have any injuries and that you can keep up on the scoreboard.
So you would think in college football that what I'm getting ready to say would be commonplace because it gets very shootouty.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how long it's been since 2 teams had a quarterback apiece that played the entire game? They each averaged 10 yards per attempt, not per completion.
Wow.
10 yards per attempt. And both teams averaged 6 yards a carry rushing the ball. Do you know how long it's been since that happened?
No, I do not. Why don't you tell me?
4 full years. It has been it's been a presidential term since we had a game that did that in college football.
Interesting. What game was it?
I don't remember. I want to say it was an FCS game.
Oh, okay.
I want to say that James Madison was involved, but I can't verify that. I heard the stat right after the game, and I went, right. I have to remember that. Well, and then wedding happened, and, then last night happened.
Yeah.
And I need to recharge my brain batteries.
Right.
So there's that.
Carolina gets Georgia State coming up this week.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing that Tar Heel fans have to remember. I've heard Carolina fans say nothing but the defense. Mm-hmm. 2 of your next 3 games are at Georgia State, which I still would kill to find out who in the world scheduled this. You start at Appalachian State and at Georgia State. And Virginia Tech, who just lost to Old Dominion. Yeah, there's a Notre Dame in there, too. That will be more of a litmus test of where you're actually at. But just calm down. You have an offense in the ACC. That is something very few teams have.
True.
as evidenced by my Florida State 2-0 Seminoles.
2-0.
I am not happy about it. Just so you know, teaser to later in the show. I am not thrilled with what happened last night.
Yeah, you really should not be. So Carolina just ekes out a win against Appalachian State, 63-61. You heard it right here on ESPN Asheville, where you will hear the Tar Heels all season long, including the Georgia State game coming up this weekend. Yes, it is on the road at Georgia State. But then it's Notre Dame. You got Notre Dame, Miami, Pittsburgh. See, that's the thing, like against a legitimate defense, because Appalachian State couldn't play defense either.
No, that's what I think you have to remember. You're on the road. You go to Appalachian State, which is no picnic of a place to play. Mm-mm. I understand things didn't go exactly how you wanted them to. You won. Mm-hmm. You won on the road in a raucous environment.
That was the first time in like 7 games that Carolina had won a road game, dating back to 2 seasons ago.
Mac Brown said that no less than 10 times in the postgame of, we needed to win a game just like this.
Yeah, because
now, you tried to lose. Mm-hmm. I will say, if it wasn't for my fighting Florida State Seminoles, you would be the team that tried the hardest to lose. Mm-hmm. Except maybe that red team in this state who we'll get to momentarily.
But see, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at teams in the ACC. Maybe they don't have the offense, but they do have the defense. Notre Dame's got a hell of a defense. Miami's got a defense. Pittsburgh's got a defense. You see where I'm going with this? Like, I get the offense is great, but do you expect it to continue against those teams?
I think this team is going to be very dynamic. They're going to be very tough to stop. And there's a part of this that I've yet to hear anybody say. You got to understand from the outside looking in. All right. We get so lost in wins and losses and the rest of the season and yada, 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 yada. I've waited for 2 days to hear somebody say what I'm getting ready to say. You know who Saturday looked really cool to? 17-year-old kids that went, hey, that Carolina team with the cool uniforms, they look like they like to score a boatload of points. Mm-hmm. And if you're not a 5-star, 4-star, you looked at Appalachian State and went, I could play there. Mm-hmm. I could do that. That looks fun. Mm-hmm. I understand it's a town that's a little off the beaten path, but as a, lifelong mountaineer myself, there's some merit to that.
Right.
You have some fun going to a school like that.
Right.
To me, the 4 schools in this state represented themselves well in different ways. And you stole the narrative for the vast majority of the college football weekend. The 2 games in this state was all anybody wanted to talk about. Mm-hmm. Then Ohio State plays close with Notre Dame, and that becomes a narrative. Shouldn't, but it will. You made it cool. That's important when it comes to recruiting. You are recruiting 17-year-old kids that live on TikTok. Mm-hmm. That game will be one of your great recruiting tools until Mac Brown's no longer here anymore. So to me, everything that happened for Carolina, total win.
Really?
Total win. There was nothing in that. You were missing the best player on your team, and it's not debatable. Mm-hmm. It's not even kind of debatable. Now, the thing that would make me nervous, you did have Tony Grimes, you did have Storm Duck, and Eep. Gene Chizik.
Yep.
Where are you at, buddy?
Right.
Because this is looking awfully 2021-y.
Mm-hmm. My thoughts exactly.
But, to me, I just don't know that I care. I don't look at Carolina and go, this is a national title contender. Mm-hmm. This is a work in progress. 5 years ago, the North Carolina Tar Heels were an afterthought in college football. This was a team we're hoping to be bowl eligible. Appalachian State was an FCS school. That was more than 5 years ago, but still. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just look at the timeline here and go, okay, all of that's fine. We made this state the talk of college football for half of the opening week in week 1. Mm-hmm. Would you have ever thought that was possible 5 years ago, 10 years ago? No.
Not a chance.
No. So the Mike Browns, the Dave Dorans, Mike Houstons, you have successfully accomplished putting yourself on the radar. Now, what you do with it from there, that's totally up to you. There's only one that was really on the national landscape going into Saturday. I feel like Carolina's on the periphery of it now. Because you can score with anybody. I don't care who you play. That team's going to score points no matter who you go up against.
Agreed.
Can you play in defense? Well, maybe not. But there are a lot of teams that I walked away saying that. Coming out of week 1.
Well, the Fighting Mike Houstons almost pulled the upset against the top 15 team in their own house.
Wait a minute. Who? Oh, yeah. I forgot. Look, I'm not going to take a victory lap, and we're going to talk about this game after the break.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say this. If I start talking about a line in June, you should probably put some credence to it. Because that's about the third year in a row I've done that. I've been right on all 3 of them.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Take a quick break, and we'll talk about ECU and State coming up next.
Roots and wings. The 2 greatest gifts any parent can give their kid. But when it's time for them to head off to college, there's also groceries, laundry detergent, notebook paper, ironing instructions, and futons that assemble with parts left over. At Ingles, we have all the comforts of home right around the corner. We know that life's biggest steps are best taken with faith and trust in the ones you love the most. Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Hey folks, DG here. I have raved about Dr. Rebecca Merrill and her staff at Asheville Smiles for years now, and I hope you've already taken my advice. But don't just take my word for it. Gary recently gave a 5-star review online saying, quote, "I love the personal touch, !" They did a great job and explained everything they were doing. I am very happy we found Asheville Smiles, ! Believe me and Gary and the online review masses. And visit AshevilleSmiles.com.
You wash your hands and brush your teeth, but what about your nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, dirt, and germs, and it's why nose cleaning is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons: sinusitis, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they also find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Nearly 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying things like, "Best product I've ever used," and "Amazing, I love my Navage." That's because Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less. But the biggest payoff is improved health. Here's the key point. Navage is good personal hygiene, and it's going to help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
You damn right. Man, it was good to have football back. It all got started on Thursday. Friday was, other than Virginia Tech, getting robbed at ODU.
Literally. We'll tell that story later in this here program.
Right. Friday was, It was fine. And then Saturday was just, it was like drinking from a fire hose, trying to keep up with everything going on. You got, of course, my television had the Carolina and App State game on, and I'm flipping back and forth trying to keep up. And lo and behold, I'm watching the fighting Mike Houstons hanging in there with NC State.
I told you.
You did. You did.
That East Carolina team has been slighted for long enough. And if it wasn't for the kicker, NC State, you would be hanging a very well-deserved loss coming out of Greenville.
But was it because NC State stepped on their own toes, or was it because East Carolina is actually that good?
East Carolina is very good. NC State had some, we'll say, self-inflicted injuries. You fumble at the 1-yard line, that's on you.
Mm-hmm.
6 goal line rushing attempts and you can't get in from the 2, that's on you. But, you got to walk away from this and go, Mike Houston is just doing a hell of a job at East Carolina. Holton Ahlers, and that's what I told you. You have a quarterback that's as vet as Holton Ahlers is, and you just saw it time and time and time and time again. They do the little things well. Now, that is the praise that I have for ECU. Now I'll turn my attention to North Carolina State. RELAX. Calm down. First of all, Devin Leary was never going to win ACC Player of the Year. It was never going to happen, ever, 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 ever. If you bet it, you might as well have set that money on fire. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that you're not. I thought you were a tad overrated anyway. You tell me when you're going to lose again. All right, you play Charleston Southern this week. That's a win.
Yeah, because they just got frog stomped by Western.
Yes, they did.
It was like 54-20 something.
Texas Tech, UConn, Syracuse, Virginia Tech, Boston College, Louisville. A lot of wins on this schedule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
You had 4 circle 'em games on the entire schedule. And the good thing is you got a 3-week lead on all of them.
Mm-hmm.
NC State's going to be just fine. They're going to be just fine. There were a lot of teams in week 1 that were not overly impressive. You got plenty of time. You had to replace a lot, which is why I have been cautioning people all offseason long. If you bet this and you're on the NC State side, you're going to be on the wrong side.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot tell me you can lose your best receiver, your best 2 running backs, and your left tackle, and you're not going to have hiccups. And weird, what were the 3 things that they struggled with, especially when it really mattered? Protection, drops, and running the ball. Weird. That is weird how that was just incredibly predictable.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm seeing NC State fans that are, well, this is just what we do. No, you won a tough game against a school that does not like you in their house. You weathered 2 complete rallies where that stadium got really loud. I think if you're a State fan, you should walk away from that going, all right, maybe a little overrated. Maybe we shouldn't be talking about the playoff. But there's not a game left on the schedule that you can't win. There's not one left. NC State could run the table.
Okay.
Do I think it's going to happen? No, probably not. But they can.
Speaking mighty highly of before you've seen Clemson.
In all honesty, what in the world is Clemson going to do tonight that makes you go, oh, yeah, they're back?
Oh, not a thing.
They win 63-2. You're still going to walk away and go, good Lord, Georgia Tech's terrible.
No, not a thing. But you do want, there are things to look for. And I'm sure we'll talk about that game coming up in the 3rd hour of the program.
Might have a little pick on that.
Yeah, we'll have a little pick on that. I don't care what I don't care what they set the number at. I'm taking Clemson to cover. Don't even kind of care. Yeah, I think maybe, counting the chickens before they're hatched there. But NC State's still going to have a hell of a season.
I'm not telling you they're going to go undefeated. I'm just saying that you can't be so beholden. I said they could.
Right.
I didn't say they were going to. I said you could. There just seems to be a lot of being very beholden to the last thing you saw. Calm down. That ECU team is way better than you've been told they are.
Mm-hmm.
Not telling you I have inside information there, but, I do. So it just calm down. It's a road game. You got a road win. That will look good down the line. don't know how much you've paid attention to what East Carolina's schedule looks like. That's going to be a team that wins a whole lot of games. I have looked at the schedule, and I'm going to be honest with you, they won't be a dog again until Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be a really nice win on the schedule when it matters.
That's when they got to play Houston, I guess.
No, that's when they go Memphis, Central Florida, BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, 5 weeks in a row.
Whoa. Yeah,
that's the definition of an American Athletic Conference gauntlet.
Right. That's not going to be too fun. But, hanging in there with the top 15 team in the country, you obviously have a lot to be happy about. You absolutely could have forced overtime.
Oh, no doubt. And the kicker,
yeah.
And look, I have to say this just because it physically is in my – don't ever trust kickers. I say it on the show all the time. Kickers are not people, okay? They are kooky madookies that get in their own head, and then all of a sudden their feet and their brain do not work with each other. I want anybody listening to this show, raise your hand and point yourself out if you thought there was a snowball's chance in Atlanta of that field goal going through the uprights. I was in a bar full of people. We all looked at each other and went, if he makes this, I'll do 7 domestic light beers in a row.
Right.
And I have no fear.
No, you don't have. It's hard to have the confidence in the kicker after miss an extra point.
And there's a lot of that. I am telling you, the further time goes on, the more I'm going, you know what? I don't even know that I'd carry a kicker. That guy at Presbyterian, maybe he's got a point. Just go for it. It's fine.
Just go for it every time.
Just go for it. Kickers are crazy people in large part. Sorry if you were a kicker.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look at yourself in the mirror and go, okay, yeah, he's not wrong.
May not be the most athletic of the group, but hey, I got a leg.
I got a foot that works 75% of the time. They are the meteorologists of football. They're not right nearly enough for you to count on them. It's rained all day.
Yep.
Wasn't supposed to be hunky-dunky. I was supposed to get a little golf in this morning. Did I?
No. Florida State and LSU, they had a hell of a game last night as the only matchup on the Sunday evening. Jeremy, I know you went into that game thinking this could be rough.
I told I'll give you the lead in, and we'll talk about this game after the break.
Mm-hmm.
I told Amy going in, there are 24 domestic light beers in the refrigerator. I don't like the chances of you making it all the way through this game. She did, surprisingly enough, especially with the last 4 minutes, because there was a lot of yelling happening.
Right.
Impossible. I said you will be able to tell how well this went by how many 20 of those 24 are still standing in the morning. Well, it was 1.
1.
That's how many were gone. There were 23 still standing.
Oh.
Because for 56 minutes, it was, let the good times roll. We're back, baby. and then that old bugaboo just reared its ugly head.
We'll talk about the Louisiana kickoff coming up next, as well as getting just a bit outside.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, it's been a rainy Labor Day Monday. We're continuing to see the rains move up from the southwest, coming out of Georgia into western North Carolina, and we're under a flood watch that continues here into the evening. Some places have had some heavy downpours down to our south. We're in the mid-60s in the valley tonight with rain moving northeast. Mostly cloudy Tuesday, 81. More scattered storms Wednesday, Thursday, upper 70s near 80. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has everything you need for school at prices that won't hold you back. Right now, Crayola 24-count crayons, Staples comp books, and 2-pocket polyfolders are just 50 cents each. Offer ends 9/10, limit 30. This year, go forward to school with Staples, the working and learning store.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think of calling for a ride, but nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. The results of driving drunk are tragic. That's why law enforcement is out there looking for impaired drivers to save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Wendy's new French toast sticks are so delicious, some are saying that they're better than their mom's breakfast.
Excuse me. Did you just say Wendy's new French toast sticks are better than my breakfast?
Mom, is that you?
Answer the question.
I said some people are saying that because they're so crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside and perfect in every way.
Uh-huh. And what do you think?
I think it's time to tell people to choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new sweet and crispy home-style French toast sticks.
That's still not an answer.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville and the football. I mean, over the weekend it was great. You had so many close games. So many games just come down to the final possession. One we're getting ready to talk about, Florida State and LSU last night.
Me and my family.
You had East Carolina and NC State. And how about number 7 Utah going into the swamp to take on Florida, and you couldn't get the job done. Cameron Rising throwing the interception in the end zone right at the end of the game, and then could not get out of the state of Florida. The Utah plane had mechanical problems, and it took them 17 hours to get another plane to Gainesville to get them home. On Saturday night, they were supposed to leave Gainesville at midnight. They did not leave the airport until 5:30 on Sunday evening, which is brutal because they spent the first 8 hours in the airport, dudes just trying to get some schoolwork in or chatting with their girlfriends, and dudes were laid out in the middle of the floor trying to get some sleep. They had already left the team hotel. They had already checked out. There was no other place for them to go. They finally did after, like 5:30, 6:30 on Saturday morning. They got into a hotel just so the guys could get some sleep before the plane got back there. But the funniest part of it all to me, apparently, according to sources, one television in the airport. And would you like to know what was on the television while the Utah football team was waiting on their plane to get there?
The replay of them losing to Florida.
The replay of the game. I don't know if that was planned. I don't know if they piped it in just, closed circuit television style just to screw with the Utah football team. But if that is the case, kudos to the Gainesville airport. Just made them live with it while they were in misery.
Well, I mean, it's the Gainesville airport, so you probably got a series of blue jean shorts, at least 15 mullets.
Right.
And they're sitting back there drinking Busch Lights going, hey, watch this. That's the whole Utah football team. Earl, give me the remote. That's how I picture it in my head, at least.
We're going to make sure that they have to watch this game over and over and over again.
Our guy, Evan Doyle, had a rare double miss with his Virginia Tech Hokies.
Yes.
They were upset by Old Dominion. But that was not the worst part of their night, because apparently, while they were on the field, laying it out there, losing to the Old Dominion Monarchs, their locker room was being robbed.
Mm-hmm.
Many valuables and other things. This was their statement. The Virginia Tech Athletic Department confirmed there were items missing from the Virginia Tech locker room following the football game against Old Dominion in Norfolk Friday night. The university is working with law enforcement and Old Dominion on the matter, and we will have no further comment.
Why are you saying that? Why are you saying that word weird?
Well, it would be Norfolk. It would not be. They would not be called Norfolks.
No, it's Norfolk. The L is silent.
Well, here's the thing. For me to tell that joke the way I just did, I couldn't say it your way. So if I had said it your way, that's a big old fine. So not good.
Yeah. Norfolk, Virginia. They don't say the L.
Okay, can we just universally agree to say things how they're spelled? The Jeremy rule works.
Okay. So what is the little yellow thing in an egg?
It's a yolk. It's a yolk.
No, if we're saying things the way they're spelled, it's a yolk.
It's not a yolk, because that sounds like you just learned English about 5 minutes ago. Or you're wearing dentures that are about 3 sizes too big.
He hates it so much when I put the L's in those words.
Drives me nuts.
Those 2 words, folks and yolks.
You know what else drives me nuts?
What's that?
Mike Norvell drives me nuts.
I knew it was coming.
My blood pressure cannot take another year of Mike Norvell coaching my team.
Well, you're going to get it.
56 minutes. For 56 minutes, you did everything perfectly well.
Mm-hmm.
I was just loving life. Let the good times roll. We're good again. And yet, I have self-preservation of I will not go full Charlie Brown. HWA the whole game's going, why are you not happier? Your team's playing well. And I'm like, the defense, Jared Verse, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Verse is a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Wilson, the 6'7" receiver, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Travis made me eat a lot of words, dog. But there was still one poo in my punch bowl that I could not find it in myself to trust.
Mike Norvell.
Yeah. Mike Norvell. Because LSU muffs a punt.
Mm-hmm.
Game's over, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, 2 touchdown lead, 24-10. This game's done.
Yeah, don't care that I got the ball on the 6-yard line.
I don't care if you kneel it out and kick a field goal. I don't care. There's but one thing you cannot do. Call a pitch on the 1-yard line. I told you when I walked in, first words I said when I walked in the studio today, if I had been the quarterback and you buzzed that into me, I would have literally gone, new helmet, who dis?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not calling that. You have 15 more seconds to get in an actual play, or I'm calling my own number. How on God's green earth do you look at that and go, oh, it's running the tall sweep. They won't see that coming. Because you're Mike Norvell, and your objective is to literally make me have a blood pressure-induced stroke in the middle of a Florida State game. Okay, all right, so they get the ball back.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to go 99 yards.
Yep.
Defense has been pretty good. Things have gone largely the way we wanted to. Jaden Daniels has not really shown an ability to beat us with his arm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is going to be closer than I want it to be, but we have given them a chance. Then they methodically march down the field and score a touchdown with no time left.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to tell you that football is a game of inches, and it's a game of small moments. And there is a fingertip on a cornerback for Florida State that is probably the only reason that I am still of this earth today. Because if the PAT goes through the uprights, this game is 24-24. Then we go into overtime and lose to my family. There's not enough alcohol on this planet to have gotten me in this room today.
Right.
I don't think you understand. I would have done 3 hours of I Hate Mike Norvell radio.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't believe me, go back to Willie Taggart's time at Florida State and pull up the archives on WWNC.
Yep.
I've seen me do it.
Yep.
And now Florida State fans, it's like the last 4 minutes didn't happen. We're back. We're not back. Are you out of your mind? First of all, I don't think that LSU team is nearly as good as I thought they were. Brian Kelly looked disinterested at best. A lot was made about his facial expressions. I mean, I saw it too. He was always a fiery guy at Notre Dame. I did not see that on the sideline here.
Mm-hmm.
Kayshon Boutte completely scrubs LSU off his Instagram because he looked like he would rather be anywhere on the planet Earth than in that stadium. So for me, was it a fun game? Absolutely. If your team was not playing.
Mm-hmm.
There is no LSU fan, there is no Florida State fan that walked away from that and went, well, that was fun. Yeah. I enjoyed that a lot. Could we do it again?
I just can't get over the lasting image that will be for at least the next week of the one LSU fan in the sea of garnet and gold holding his head as y'all block right after you block the extra point.
So I'm
and how can you have special teams that bad?
Well, the funny thing is, the one coordinator that went with Brian Kelly to LSU from Notre Dame, the special teams coordinator, 2 muff punts, 2 block kicks. Yikes!
That's hard to do.
It is hard to do,
and especially when Florida State. I mean, Florida State had every chance to put that game away. I mean, y'all were inside the 10 twice and did not come away with a single point.
Well, and the first one I understood. You were trying to, because offensively, we'll be nice here and say they were offensively challenged. It was not going exactly how we wanted it to. But we have the big scary monster under your bed that's on the edge, and he wears number 5. Mm-hmm. And he is my new favorite person on the planet Earth. Kayshon Boutte's stock went through the floor.
Yes.
Jared Versus has probably never been higher. Captain Obvious in our YouTube comments, this is too funny for me to not say out loud. Brian Kelly looked like the feds were outside waiting on him. Correct.
Because he knew what was coming.
He looked like he wanted to call Notre Dame and go, you up?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean it.
I mean, because he knows. He knows what's coming. After you came out, at the basketball game and do the My Family thing.
Oh,
and I ain't even won all my games yet.
If I had $1 for every time I looked at Amy last night and said, and I haven't even won a game yet, I would have $14 US. That doesn't sound like much, but it's about 14 times.
You just can't allow that to happen.
No. I would say there is no unhappier fan base in America right now than LSU.
Agreed.
There is no team that saw less than them. Them in Nebraska, you're running neck and neck. You were trailing North Dakota. That's a thing that happened.
Not state. Not North Dakota State.
No. North Dakota by itself.
Right.
Who has a player in the NFL, and his name is Matt Waletzko.
It's just baffling. It is baffling that.
And then Brian Kelly, there are some people that they just make themselves so unbelievably unlikable.
Mm-hmm.
He does the sideline thing. Usually, I'm not a huge fan of that because I don't think you get much. Mike Norvell, his little Johnny Rah-Rah going into the half, as he's talking, it was. I felt like a bad marriage because I was just sitting there going, shut up. But then Brian Kelly comes out and goes, well, I don't think we can play any worse in the second half. Well, maybe we can because this is my first game here. This is the same guy that said he wanted to execute his team to the same girl a year ago.
He was just trying to set the stage. He was, trying to temper expectations.
Pennywise in our YouTube comments, he was at the game last night. Said it was a little rough. You know what? My heart goes out to you. Because Tank can vouch for this. I walked around for a whole week going, I hate nothing more than that we are the only game on television in that window. Mm-hmm. How many times did I say that last week?
A bunch.
Because I knew what was going to happen. Now, it didn't go exactly how I thought. I knew Norvell would piddle in my punch bowl somehow. And he did. He did. Everything was hunky-dunky. And then you do that thing that you have done repeatedly. Mm-hmm. Here's what people don't remember. Do you remember where Jacksonville State was on the field when they beat us?
At like the 45?
They were on their own 45-yard line. It was a 56-yard touchdown pass. Mm-hmm. He is atrociously bad at end-of-game scenarios. And I'm watching this just going, I've seen this so many times. So many times I have watched this happen. Now, when you win it, the players are obviously very much on his side. The kid that they originally thought blocked the kick was like, don't say we don't work hard. Did you catch that? He looked directly at the camera and said, you don't know how hard we practice. All right. You represented yourself well. Mm-hmm. But for LSU, I will say the exact same thing in reverse that I said about North Carolina. North Carolina, App State, ECU, North Carolina State. You made yourself look cool. You made yourself look cool. You made yourself look like a destination. Mm-hmm. Brian Kelly looked like a jerk. Brian Kelly, and I'm telling you right now, if I had an 18-year-old kid and I had been watching this and that was one of his contenders, my immediate words would have been, I can't encourage you to go play for him.
Don't go play for that guy.
I can't. His best player has been completely out of this game. This is a no-doubt first-round pick in the NFL draft. Mm-hmm. I've had people in my industry message me today and say I wouldn't take him the first 2 days after what I saw.
Wow.
One game of Brian Kelly. And I know exactly what it is. He hasn't bought in because he's looking at this going, I'm not long for this. So your little rebuild has put me in a horrible predicament. And then you go 3 quarters into it and you're going, we're getting demolished by the 7th best team in the ACC. We're the only SEC team that's going to lose this week. Mm-hmm. And it took him over. For me, I think people are overreacting to him. I have seen plenty of players get contentious, and maybe I'm a little biased because I've been burned by LSU receivers in the past. He's still talented.
Of course he is.
But I'm telling you right now, I'm looking at 2 teams. I'm looking at a tale of 2 tapes. I think Brian Kelly is a brilliant coach with no people skills whatsoever. Mm-hmm. I think Mike Norvell is in large part a doofus. But he does have people skills. Mm-hmm. And he does find a way to get these guys like Jared Verse, and he does find a way to grow a player like Jordan Travis that could not have played a tree in a child's play a year ago. Now looks like a competent quarterback. And I'm coming around to the fact of, I think at the end of the day in college football now, it matters way more about the Jimmies and Joes than it does the X's and the O's. Florida State looked like they were running something out of 1974 for the vast majority of that game. Still won. Mm-hmm. Because your guys were playing their tails off. Yeah. Even as things are going horribly wrong for you. LSU, 90% of their players look like if you had given them an eject button to get out of that stadium, they would have hit it. And there's more to that than I think meets the eye.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingles Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingles Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
The Honest Truly Calming Collection is our must-have for Hazy's nighttime routine. The tear-free shampoo body wash and moisturizing conditioner help make bath time easy. The Truly Calming face and body lotion nourishes his delicate skin throughout the night. Honest overnight diapers keep leaks on lock for up to 12 hours, so we can both get a good night's sleep. For sweet dreams, end your kiddo's day with the Honest Truly Calming Collection.
Life is short, and if we spend our time suffering with pain and it takes away our joy, that's not a very good way to live.
He's right. It's hard to be happy when you're in constant pain. QC Kinetics patient Chad admits the chronic pain in his knee really robbed his quality of life.
When I was going to the traditional doctor and getting the pain pills, my smile wasn't as big as it usually is. Going to my high school reunion on crutches, it was awful.
But then Chad visited QC Kinetics. He experienced the real power behind natural regenerative treatments. Using healing properties from his own body, QC Kinetics was able to restore and repair damaged tissue, finally giving Chad lasting relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime.
And I'm feeling on top of the world because of QC Kinetics.
Learn how advanced regenerative medicine can help your body heal itself at QC Kinetics. Call now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Help the planet with a tip from iHeartRadio Earth. Save money and energy at home this summer by using window coverings, such as curtains or shades, to prevent heat gain through your windows during the day. Some shades can reduce unwanted solar heat through windows by up to 60%. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. And
you knew you weren't getting out of the show without hearing that.
Of course not. Don't worry. I got yours queued up. We're going to play yours too. I was going to play it before the last one, but we had to do just a bit outside. And I got your war chant all set up, okay?
Do you have the LSU song? Because that's what Florida State's band was playing last night.
That's brutal.
That is, first of all, that is epic level trolling, and
Absolutely.
I'm here for it. I am that petty of an individual. I do not remember the name of the song. I know we have at least 2 LSU fans in the chat. If somebody would like to throw out the name of it, because I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as the kick was blocked, Florida State's band started playing LSU's song.
Right.
I caught it immediately and went, "Oh, that's great."
The Georgia Bulldogs, man, that's going to be. We all knew. I mean, they're one of the favorites to make the college football playoff again, and could possibly play for the national title again. But man, I expected more out of Oregon. I really did.
I don't know why.
And Georgia because it's the name. Because it's the name Oregon, and you expect there's going to be some fireworks from that offense.
And how many times did I tell you there wouldn't be?
Yeah, you did. You did. I mean,
you can't bring in a defensive coach coming off Cristobal. I said at the time, Dan Lanning may be the nicest guy on the planet Earth, and he may be a brilliant coach. That might be the worst hire I've ever seen.
Well, Bo Nix is god-awful and has been for 3 years, and he is our favorite quarterback.
It's a Southern thing. It's a YouTube channel that they do all kinds of things.
Uh-huh.
They have a roll call with Matt Mitchell.
Yes.
This week when he did it,
it's no longer a Southern thing, by the way.
Oh, is it not?
He's left them. He's not with them anymore.
Really?
He's on his own now.
He
actually
funny.
works for a newspaper or something.
He's so funny.
He is so funny. He does the SEC roll call every week. And I saw it today.
And he went, there was something, that quarterback looked really familiar. Yeah. And he panned to Auburn, and they went, let me guess, one drive that was really impressive and then nothing for 3.5 quarters? Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Made a good drive on the first possession and then immediately threw 2 interceptions. Yep, nothing changes. Nothing changes with Bo Nix, and that defense for the Georgia Bulldogs looks every bit as good as last year. Well, maybe not. Maybe I'm overstepping on that one. But the offense, Somebody said in the chat earlier in the program that asking the question, Stetson Bennett for Heisman, first off, his stats aren't going to be that good. His stats won't look that good at the end of the season, I don't think.
I'm not so sure of that.
You don't think you think there's a chance?
And I'm just going to ask a very simple question here. Who exactly is supposed to stop them? Who on that schedule is going to keep him from doing that? Because he did it in 3 quarters.
Yeah, I understand that. But I still feel like C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, those guys are going to throw up stats.
He's not a Heisman candidate.
No. That's what I was talking about. But when it comes to, most valuable player in college football, Stetson Bennett could be right there.
Well, I saw a lot of, and I can't remember who said this, but somebody that follows me on Twitter said something to the effect of, calling Stetson Bennett a game manager is offensive to his talent. I'm going to disagree. But it's not the slight that people make it out to be.
Mm-hmm.
Stetson Bennett is surrounded by more talent than there is on any team in the country, and I even think Alabama fans would tell you that. If Bryce Young was the quarterback at Georgia, nobody would touch them.
Mm-hmm.
This would be a 13-0, no doubt national champion. We all know his limitations. But here's what he does really, really well. He doesn't make mistakes.
No. He doesn't make mistakes, and he analyzes a defense very, very well.
I need you to understand that there were 11 Georgia Bulldogs that caught a pass. Eric Gilbert wasn't one of them.
Mm-mm.
He was never targeted. He's their 3rd tight end.
Yes.
I can argue he's the 2nd most talented tight end in this draft class.
And that's terrifying.
That's how good everyone. This team is.
Absolutely.
And how deep they are.
Absolutely. And it's, like I said, it's terrifying for everyone to look at that team and go, how you going to stop him? Because he doesn't stretch the field.
No.
Stetson doesn't, heave it 40 yards at a clip. What he does is pick and pop, dink and dunk. It is Tom Brady, in his heyday with the New England Patriots.
And that's the thing. All right, I'm going to use the example you just gave. Tom Brady, for the first 8 years of his career, was a super high-efficiency game manager.
Yes.
It wasn't until he was in his 30s that he really figured out, deep ball.
Mm-hmm.
When Randy Moss showed up. Because what he did was when you made a mistake, I'm going to pick it apart because I'm not going to miss it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Stetson Bennett does. That's what people like me mean when they say game manager. You leave that running back open in the flat on that wheel route, he never misses it.
Mm-hmm.
He knows it every single time.
Yes, he does.
I watched a good amount of Georgia-Oregon.
I watched every second and loved it.
I never saw a play where Oregon had something covered, but one guy leaked open, and he didn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Never once. There was never that pan across all 22 shot where you went, he missed the receiver right there.
Mm-hmm.
Never happened.
Yep.
That's exactly what that team needs.
There were so many questions about how is this Georgia team going to look with all that they lost last year. The defense really didn't look like it had missed a step. And the offense looked better than it did last year.
The defense is hyperactive, and the offense is better than it was last year.
Kenny McIntosh is a dude. There ain't no doubt about it. Georgia rolled. Alabama rolled.
Ohio State?
Yeah, not so much. We'll talk about that coming up next right here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, it's been a rainy Labor Day Monday. We're continuing to see the rains move up from the southwest, coming out of Georgia into western North Carolina, and we're under a flood watch that continues here into the evening. Some places have had some heavy downpours down to our south. We're in the mid-60s in the valley tonight with rain moving northeast. Mostly cloudy Tuesday, 81. More scattered storms Wednesday, Thursday, upper 70s near 80. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Napa Auto Parts. When your ride fires on all cylinders, so do you. That's why Napa is on a mission to keep you in motion. With nearly 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores and over 17,000 Napa Auto Care centers, the Napa network has everything you need to get up and go.
At Tyson Furniture, we have a huge selection of furniture, honest values, and great service. We're a big store, and Black Mountain has wonderful restaurants and interesting shops to explore. Visit us at Tyson Furniture in Black Mountain, where beautiful homes begin.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think of calling for a ride, but nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. The results of driving drunk are tragic. That's why law enforcement is out there looking for impaired drivers to save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Over 50,000 police officers are assaulted each year. Help police by not escalating. Address any complaints after the encounter. Comply now, complain later. Keep everybody safe. This message brought to you by the National Police Association. Learn more at nationalpolice.org.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Sports Center. I'm Doug Brown. Aaron Judge with home run number 54 today in New York. A two-run blast to give the Yankees the lead in the sixth inning. Right now in the ninth, the Yankees lead the Twins 5-2. One last game to wrap up the college football weekend. Number 4 Clemson on the road against Georgia Tech. Coverage at 8 Eastern tonight on ESPN. The NFL season kicks off Thursday night with Matthew Stafford and the Rams hosting the Bills. ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum says the Super Bowl champs may have a short window for success.
They don't have a first-round pick for the foreseeable future, so they have a great team with great players, but like most teams, if they would lose their starting quarterback, the alternative doesn't look very good.
Mike Tannenbaum on Greene. The Browns signed free agent tight end Jesse James to a one-year deal. He played for the Bears last season. 50 years ago today, 5 Israeli athletes and 6 coaches were killed after an attack by a Palestinian terrorist group at the Summer Olympics in Munich, Germany. German president apologized today for multiple security failures.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Clemson is not as high and mighty as they were 4 or 5 years ago. They're a different program now.
The guys will be back Tuesday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well so you can join us in the chat. You can complain about your team, or you can just toot your own horn. You do whatever you want to in the chat. Because, we're in the middle of a radio show, so,
that's what we do. That's the way you interact with us.
Yeah, exactly. We want to see your comments in the YouTube stream. Don't forget to follow the link in the description of the video to the Battle for the Belt. We haven't mentioned that yet today, but you got until Thursday to get in on the Battle for the Belt. This is going to be our season-long DFS competition where the end of the year, the high scorer for the entire season will take home the custom-made championship belt for Beer City's best fantasy football player.
And now that is just if you want the advantage of being in a best ball. You do not have to do that. Some people have said that they don't want to do that. They don't understand the best ball thing, and that's totally fine. You can win without being in that. That is not a problem at all. We had a little kerfuffle while I was at the wedding because it was in a place where cell phone signal was a grand myth. And so I did not know that until I got back home late last night, right before the Florida State game, which is why I started this show with my sunglasses on. because the world is making my head hurt.
All it costs is a $20 donation that will be turned over to Eblin Charity's St. Nicholas Project. We want to raise as much money as possible to help the needy kids around the Buncombe County area be able to have something to open up on Christmas morning. That's what the folks at Eblin does with the St. Nicholas Project. We support this program. We want you to support it as well and have a whole lot of fun. So not only do you give yourself an opportunity to win the custom-made Sportsocracy Championship belt, but you will also be able to hopefully take home the $1,000+ prize pack that we are putting together with gift cards from some of our lovely sponsors.
It's a great prize pack. It's a great prize pack. It's going to be a great time. We have free entries in that. Corey Short at the Social gave 5 more of those over the weekend.
So we got 15.
So we have 15 free entries into this that we are going to be giving out over the course of the week.
That is awesome. 15
Dude
free
Takes
entries.
Podcast gave away 5.
Yep.
We matched the 5.
Yep.
We want as many of you in this as humanly possible and to donate as much to the children as we can.
All right.
Super chats for the month of September and October will also be going into the donation. So
Indeed. And you have to subscribe to the channel to do the super chat thing.
yeah, that's how we keep the bots from overtaking the chat.
Exactly. So subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat. Don't forget to enter the Beer City's Best Fantasy Football Player Battle for the Belt contest. You have until Thursday to get in on that competition. College football was amazing over the weekend. I mean, both of my teams won. Jeremy's teams went 1-1 with West Virginia losing last week. And then Florida State just hanging on against LSU. Coming up with that clutch block of a kick. The second one of the game, mind you.
I didn't mention this earlier, but I can tell you definitively there were 2 people watching LSU last night with big smiles on their face.
Who was that?
Ed Orgeron.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was still thinking, my fault. Go Tigers. And Lou Holtz. I bet you wish you would respond to me now, don't you?
You might have learned how to coach some special teams.
I'm going to send you another letter, and this one's going to have a bunch of 4-letter words in it, Brian Kelly.
But we had the usual suspects. The top 3 teams in the country all played yesterday. Georgia beat a top 12 team, which should not have been a top 12 team to start out the year, but they're Oregon, and they got overrated to start out the year in the preseason poll, but beat them by 49-3. Alabama rolled over Utah State 55-0. Bryce, see, this is why I say that. This is why I say this about Stetson Bennett and the Heisman Trophy, because Stetson had some nice numbers. Don't get me wrong. I mean, kid threw for almost 400 yards in the game. But then again, you had Bryce Young scoring 6 total touchdowns. He didn't have to do a whole lot. He didn't have to cover a whole lot of yardage to do that, but ran for over 100 yards, scored a touchdown on the ground, threw 5 touchdown passes, and threw for under 200 yards. I'd be interested to know when the last time that happened was, when a guy throws for under 200 yards and threw 5 touchdown passes. Oh, wait, didn't Jameis Winston do that last year with the New Orleans Saints? I believe he did. In that Green Bay game? I think he got close.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about Alabama, and I don't have a whole lot to say about Georgia. I do have a lot to say about the other of the big 3.
The Ohio State University had a top 5 matchup with Notre Dame. And Jeremy, you and I both were expecting that Ohio State would come out and just be able to blow their doors off with their offense. That's not how this game went at all.
And I had a sweeping take from this, and I will almost guarantee you that you and I did not see this the same way.
Okay.
What was walking away from this game? What was the number one thing you thought?
Number one thing I thought was that Notre Dame's defense is better than we expected.
All right, so maybe we did see it the same way.
And Ohio State's offense might be a little overrated.
There's where we disagree.
Okay.
I look at this and go, all right, you lost your most reliable receivers.
Yes, Jackson Smith and Jigba going down with an injury.
And I'm not even that obviously was a big deal on, I'll be nice and say a dirty hit.
Mm-hmm.
You also, Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson. So now you've got an entire receiving corps that nobody out there is somebody that C.J. Stroud fully trusts. That defense is better than people think. It's certainly better than, and I'll be the first to admit it. We don't do a where Jeremy was right, where Jeremy was wrong.
Right.
But if we did, the first thing I would say, Notre Dame's better than I thought they were.
Mm-hmm.
Offensively, not so much. But Ohio State is very talented defensively. What I saw in the second half, that is an insanely terrifying defense. And I think over the course of the year, you'll figure it out. Having Smith and Jigba changes everything because that's the guy that can beat you in every way. I'm not saying the receivers weren't talented. There's something to be said in a game of that magnitude where things have not gone your way. And you know, I mean, C.J. Stroud knew at halftime, we're down. There is no doubt Twitter is killing me right now. Ohio State fans are losing their minds. You don't have to physically be seeing it to know.
Mm-hmm.
And so the pressure starts to mount on you a little bit. But now you also have to realize they don't have a losable game. I mean, the worst that Ohio State could possibly play. They don't have another losable game for over a month.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have a lot of time to get this offense acclimated. I have no fear of Ohio State. The defense is legitimately better than I thought they were because that's a pretty vet offensive line for Notre Dame that you made look pretty bad in the second half. Now, did they come out and boat race them the way people thought? No. But I was more impressed with Notre Dame than I was disappointed in Ohio State.
I mean, I was still disappointed in Ohio State. I wouldn't say that I'm, off the bandwagon. They're not going to make the college football playoff. Let's just chill with that. Because let's remember how last year started. Last year's season started out with that barn burner of a game between Georgia and Clemson, where nary an offensive touchdown was scored.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened? And then Georgia got its act together offensively, rolled through the SEC, and goes on to win the national title. I don't jump to these great these early conclusions on week one.
Oh, I mean, there are some conclusions that I will jump to.
Okay, but with a team like Ohio State, no.
And see, that's where I'm at. Is a lot. It's a phrase I use on the show all the time. When you hear hoofbeats, it makes a hell of a lot more sense to assume horses than zebras. So which makes more sense? The reigning runner-up for the Heisman Trophy all of a sudden can't produce offense. You've got a Heisman Trophy candidate running back, of which, they were efficient running the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the track meet, light it up that we thought it would be. Okay? Which makes more sense? Notre Dame's defense is better than you thought, or somehow Ohio State has just gravely regressed offensively because they're missing a couple receivers.
No, I put that. I put the 21 points Ohio State scored on Marcus Freeman.
Marcus Freeman is a very good coach.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, I wanted to see it because I do look at that offense and go, you are pitifully limited offensively. But he's going to be able to recruit.
Mm-hmm.
And if he can have a defense that does those things with the way that their schedule is built, Notre Dame's not going to go away for a long, long time.
I was going to say, conversely, you talked about Ohio State not having a game that they could lose. I mean,
Notre Dame has several they could lose.
Yeah. Do they? I mean, do you think going to Carolina is going to be that tough?
Look at can they offensively hang with North Carolina?
No.
There you go. Yeah, that's going to be a headache because it's on the road.
That's going to be a markedly better defense than North Carolina's seen.
I fully understand that. Notre Dame outplayed Ohio State for a half.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just fully outplayed them. There was no denying Notre Dame was the better team in the first half, led by 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
Offense could not play dead in the Western largely. You're up by 3.
Yeah.
And I could see a path that Notre Dame struggles with that in several games this year. At North Carolina, Clemson, at USC.
Mm-hmm.
I think your lack of offense is going to be a problem. Now, what I will say is I saw enough from Marcus Freeman. I'll go back to what I said about Mike Brown earlier. I would wager a lot of 17-year-old kids watched the swagger of that defense and the swagger of that coach and went, I could play there.
Mm-hmm.
I could do this. I could do this, no doubt. And Marcus Freeman will walk into households with a whole lot of cachet of we stayed closer to Ohio State than anybody they played all year. I've heard a lot of people say Michigan's going to beat Ohio State. And I'm going to disagree.
Who's your quarterback?
For the square.
Who's your quarterback? Let me know.
I mean, you know what? We'll talk about that after the break. Something weird happened with Michigan that I can't really wrap my brain around. And it's just the difference with a Ryan Day, with a Marcus Freeman, and with a Jim Harbaugh. And it's something I'm seeing more and more in college football, and it's becoming kind of a big deal.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch. Black Mountain, get ready to rock. Dark City Rock Fest, presented by Elite Events and Promotions, is coming to Silverados Saturday, September 17th, starring Saving Abel. $20 in advance, 25 day of show, and a portion of the proceeds will go to United Way Dark City Rock Fest with Saving Abel. Saturday, September 17th at SilveradosWNC.com.
The Honest Truly Calming Collection is our must-have for Hazy's nighttime routine. The tear-free shampoo body wash and moisturizing conditioner help make bath time easy. The Truly Calming face and body lotion nourishes his delicate skin throughout the night. Honest overnight diapers keep leaks on lock for up to 12 hours, so we can both get a good night's sleep. For sweet dreams, end your kiddo's day with the Honest Truly Calming Collection.
Better sleep gives you the energy you need to spend more time doing the things you love. Your sleep equipment helps you manage your sleep disorder and live a more active life, but it only works if you use it. Sleep equipment manufacturers recommend daily cleaning, and SoClean is a helpful complement to your daily routine. Join over 2 million SoClean customers enjoying peace of mind. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Find out more at SoClean.com. Always follow the manufacturer's instruction. Free payment required for risk-free trial. For contraindications and details, visit SoClean.com.
You spend the first hour of your vacation at the luggage carousel thinking there's nowhere to go but up. But there is a place to go but up, because when you open your suitcase, you find it filled with dolls. Dolls like the ones in that movie that scared you so much you wet your girlfriend's bed. Ah, Marissa, the one that got away. You return the bag to the airport with relief. It lasts until you get back to your room, where a fallen doll waits to greet you.
Don't let a suitcase full of dolls ruin your vacation. Go on a real vacation. GoRVing.com.
The Sportsocracy.
The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward.
Week 1 of college football, the Michigan Wolverines steamrolled Colorado State 51-7.
Phenomenal. They're awful.
Who, Colorado State?
They're awful.
Michigan?
No, Colorado State's awful.
Okay. Cade McNamara did not have the greatest of stat lines in the game.
Nope.
Made some mistakes. Missed some throws. Jim Harbaugh, speaking after the game, said I'm still going to stick with the plan. J.J. McCarthy's going to get the start next week, and we'll make a decision on who the starting quarterback's going to be from there.
And here's the thing. That plan's stupid. Look, Jim Harbaugh knows more about this game than I do, but I'm telling you,
so.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
Mm-hmm.
When the quarterback comes out and says, I had no anticipation of a quarterback battle, think about everything I've said in this show. College football has become the definition of an arms race.
Mm-hmm.
Your only objective is to get as many kids in school, whether it's NIL packages, whatever it is.
Yes.
Because right now it is very hard to compete with Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State. I feel like USC is going to join that in very short order. I think Notre Dame is going to join that in very short order. It's hard to be the stodgy old coach in college football now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to compare Jim Harbaugh to a guy that we talked about in the first hour, Brian Kelly.
Yep.
How hard is it for you to convince a 17-year-old kid to devote 4 years of their life to you? Your quarterback is coming out and saying, I didn't know anything about this. This came as a total surprise to me.
Mm-hmm.
You already struggle because you're in a cold weather city. I don't have to go to Michigan to be on television. I can get on television at Louisiana. And look how many coaches around college football have planted a flag of we're turning things around here. Already talked about two with Marcus Freeman.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Billy Napier planted his flag for that.
Absolutely.
I feel like Mario Cristobal has planted his flag for that. And you've got coaches all around the country that are saying, you don't have to go to Georgia and be a fourth stringer. You can come here.
Mm-hmm.
You can come here and set the tempo of a program. And then you have stodgy old Jim Harbaugh that runs the power eye. We play football the right way. Cool. That's about as sexy as a ham sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
5-star college quarterbacks, I guarantee you they're looking at that going, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. Why do you think
I'm good.
Why do you think he's been at Michigan for so long and not had a quarterback worth a damn? I'm not saying that that's a problem. I'm not saying that he doesn't now. I think J.J. McCarthy is going to be a hell of a football player.
And that's kind of my point.
But if he doesn't run him off first.
And that's the fear. Because he's done that multiple times. He's had high-level recruits here that went and played elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so my fear here, if I'm Michigan, is you're a typewriter salesman. That's what you have committed to here. You have the greatest typewriter salesman on the planet Earth. The problem is that the rest of us are using computers with Wi-Fi and all the other cool little trinkets, and you're out here going, I need another ribbon. Can I get a ribbon?
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough sell.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just looking around college football going, there are a lot of programs that I feel like are on the rise. And the ones that I don't feel that way, it's because you're not embracing this in the least.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I was not over the moon about what happened with Florida State last night. I can tell you that's a selling point. That's a selling point. Look, offensively, we do not have the players. There is no doubt. Offensive line is not good.
Mm-hmm.
Found a way to win. And you got Norvell jumping on the coordinator's back and the players coming up and picking him up and spinning him around like a bottle cap. And
it looks
something
fun.
cool to that.
Yeah, it looks
that
fun.
looks like a fun place to go spend my time. And you got Jim Harbaugh who's wearing pleated khakis that he got at Target. There's nothing. That doesn't look fun to me. And look, I understand that I'm being the millennial here. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
You're recruiting that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, if you're 50 years old going, yeah, I would love to play for Jim Harbaugh, he ain't targeting you. He's targeting people that look at the world the same way I do.
Yeah, he's targeting 16, 17-year-old kids who want to look at the TikTok world and look at the highlight reels and go, oh, look at all that.
And it's just different.
Mm-hmm. Did you happen to see any we'll just use SportsCenter since obviously we're on an ESPN station. Did you see the SportsCenter highlights of the Michigan game?
No, I didn't.
They were terrible.
I mean, I saw the film that I got sent, which I felt like I was watching something from about 1978.
But in a game where it was 51-7, it was, whoa, look at them go. It's not selling to the younger generation.
And it's not even the brand of football. Because I feel like you can still sell that brand of football. Sam Pittman's doing that at Arkansas right now.
Mm-hmm.
That is not a sexy way to play. I don't know how much you watched of them in Cincinnati, but I've reviewed the tape a little bit this morning. There's nothing sexy about it. But he's a fun guy. Sam Pittman's a guy that you see in an interview and, all right, it may not be for the 5 stars.
Right.
But those fringe 3 and 4 star guys have got to be looking at him going, that's a guy I can play for.
Mm-hmm.
That's a guy I can play for. And, one of my biggest takeaways of the weekend, the 3 heavy hitters, and Clemson, I don't know why you're 4. I don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Cade Klubnik plays tonight and he looks like Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson, and much less like DJ Uiagalelei.
DJ better hope not.
I don't know. I'm just looking at those 3 going, all right, there's a talent deficit here. But then you look across the college football world, and there are programs that a year or 2 are going to be a headache. Mm-hmm. It's not this year. If you don't pull for Alabama, Georgia, or Ohio State, you have 0 shot. I'm sorry to ruin college football for you all weekend. I watched all 3 of them, and I saw nothing that made me think that anybody outside of those 3 can hang with those 3.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a lot I'm looking at going, a year from now, 2 years from now, when that playoff is 12 teams, and all I got to do is get into the dance, there are going to be some programs that are really alluring. And I'll be honest with you, there are 3 of them in the state of Florida.
I was going to say, were the Gators one of them?
They were absolutely one of them. Anthony Richardson. All right, think about it this way. You're a quarterback. You're a high-level quarterback prospect. Anthony Richardson was one of the biggest question marks going into this season.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody doubted how physically gifted he was. Nobody doubted his tools and his skills. Dan Mullen and he butted heads. Billy Napier basically came in and went, do what you want. We're going to contour this to you. And I'm going to be honest with you. Utah is more talented than that Florida team is. And I don't think it's even debatable. But they play really hard. Really, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And they are buying into everything Billy Napier is selling.
Mm-hmm. And they've got a fire to them. They've got this, what do we call it in everything? The it factor.
And I look at that and I go, I think that's just what matters. X's and O's, okay. Brian Kelly's a great X's and O's coach.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Mullen was a good X's and O's coach. Urban Meyer is a really good X's and O's coach. I'm not sure any of the 3 of them actually work at this point. Because I just don't know how you sell that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you sell the stodgy old guy that throws you under the bus in interviews. I've heard Harbaugh do it, and I've heard Brian Kelly do it. And both times I went, I don't know how kids and their parents in this day and age are going to hear that and go, yeah, I want to commit to that guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a different world we live in. And maybe that's a different take. Maybe it's a weird take. Maybe I'm a weird guy. I am a weird guy. But I've been thinking that all weekend long. And I've been looking at the uniforms and just all of these things. And then you get old, stodgy Michigan. I don't know how well that sells at this point.
You may not like it. You may agree with, I saw somebody shared the meme on Facebook earlier today of Lou Holtz talking about the difference in the generations. And the fact that, you look at today's players and they're all about me. They're all about me and highlights and do it. And they want to know about compensation. What are you going to pay me? And what are my rights as a football player?
And you may not like that.
Exactly. You may agree with Lou Holtz, who said, you look at the days past where the football players were all about hard work and determination and doing your job and worrying about their responsibilities rather than what I'm going to get from your school. You may think that's the way things should be, and maybe it is the way things should be.
I was about to say, I'm one of those that thinks that's the way
I'm one of those
that
as
should
well.
be.
But the problem is, you don't get to make that decision.
This is like being in sales. All right, so before I came into radio, that was my whole life. I had done sales my entire adult life. And the basic tenet is you always have to remember who you're selling to. And trust me, there are salespeople. You ever notice that every salesperson you've ever dealt with agrees with practically everything you say?
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason for that. Mm-hmm. Because that's what they do. They find middle ground. Oh, your wife works at a bank? My wife works at a bank. 15 minutes later, my wife sells insurance. Weird. Your wife has a lot of jobs. Yeah, because that's what we do. And that's what college football is becoming. This is becoming the world's biggest sales job.
Yes.
I have to sell you on everything. And what is attractive to these players? The locker rooms. How many times did you see the LSU locker room when they built that? Have you noticed that 15 other schools have done that since, Florida State and Florida included?
Yep.
And they're just getting bigger and brighter and flashier and cooler and more video games and more social media and more all of the things, because we live in a society where the average person has an attention span of about 11 seconds.
And more money.
And more money.
And more money. What can I give you?
And that's just, there are coaches around the country. Adam Black in our YouTube comments said Shane Beamer. I'm going to be honest with you. I agree with you. Now, I think it's going to be harder there. And I think it's going to be harder in a lot of these places. But if I'm an AD and I'm looking at Jim Harbaugh right now, I'm going, I don't know that this works anymore. I don't know that this works anymore. And look, I understand they were in the college football playoff last year. It takes 5 years for things to really take hold. We're in year 3 of this NIL thing. And I'm watching some programs trend the right way, and I'm watching some programs trend the wrong way. And they seem to have one thing in common.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Take a quick break. When we come back, time to get weird.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, it's been a rainy Labor Day Monday. We're continuing to see the rains move up from the southwest, coming out of Georgia into western North Carolina, and we're under a flood watch that continues here into the evening. Some places have had some heavy downpours down to our south. We're in the mid-60s in the valley tonight with rain moving northeast. Mostly cloudy Tuesday, 81. More scattered storms Wednesday, Thursday, upper 70s near 80. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You might not have the biggest garage on the block, but with eBay Motors, there's 122 million parts right at your fingertips. Whatever you need, there's something that fits your vehicle. Air filters, tires, seat covers, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
Summer's over, but that joint pain is still there. Time to do something. I want you to call QC Kinetics now. You've put it off long enough. It's time to get real, lasting relief from chronic pain in your knees and back and shoulder and hips. QC Kinetics can get you moving again with cutting-edge regenerative treatments with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Regenerative medicine uses highly concentrated healing properties from your own body to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. And QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough natural approach to eliminating joint pain. Lots of people here have done this, and they're living life to the fullest, pain-free. Don't assume the old ways of dealing with joint pain are the only ways. Call QC Kinetics today. Stop putting it off. Call now for a free consultation. 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. With locations in Asheville and in Greeneville, QC Kinetics. 828-333-9517.
It's summertime. Just like reapplying sunscreen helps continue protection against the sun, a booster shot can help enhance protection against COVID-19 after a primary series vaccination, which wanes over time. Schedule an appointment when eligible. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy. And the following statement is not weird, but the story behind it is very weird. People in Ukraine are really on edge these days. No one's shocked by that. There's a war going on. You're being invaded by Russia. I get it. Now, when you try to go through and you try to make life continue as normally as possible, maybe, try to bring a little light into a dark world in Ukraine. The northern city of Chernihiv was having a fun fest over the weekend. And at the fun fest, there were all kinds of things going on. You see...
Are many of them fun?
What?
At a fun fest?
Everything's fun. Everything's fun at the fun fest.
Government mandated fun.
I mean, looking at pictures of this thing, I mean, it's like the fair. It's like, imagine being at the Mountain State Fair, which is coming up pretty soon, at the North Carolina Ag Center, and then all of a sudden you hear a giant explosion. Now, put yourself in the position of the people of the town who are thinking immediately, oh my God, we're under attack by Russian troops. People go fleeing from the scene after this explosion. After things sorted out, though, they found out what caused the explosion. 2 Ukrainian soldiers had brought an anti-tank RPG with them to the Fun Fest. And, as you do, you're just passing it around the group. Like, hey, don't y'all want to see what's going on with the RPG?
Don't do that.
No. They handed it to a 10-year-old boy.
Don't do that.
Who, of course, pulled the trigger. Unfortunately, there were 3 young children who were injured in this. Thankfully, as far as I could tell, no one died in the explosion. But one girl, there's video footage of her being interviewed by the local TV station as the thing exploded. And, chaos ensued, as you would expect. The 2 soldiers are now being investigated by Ukrainian officials, and their story is that they were ordered to bring the thing to the Fun Fest. Okay, maybe you were ordered to bring it to the Fun Fest. I don't think you were ordered to bring it with it live and ready to fire. Don't hand rocket launchers to 10-year-olds. Why is this so hard to understand? Thoughts and prayers, obviously, with the young children who suffered injuries in this incident. Again, thankfully, no one died, and Lord knows what's going to happen with the ensuing investigation of this. But man, can you put yourself in their shoes? Just eating my ice cream cone, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, we're under attack.
Your story was about not handing firearms to children. Mine, don't do stupid things for social media. Do you know who Adam Lockwood is?
No.
He is a free climber. If you don't know what that means, it means he climbs very large things without a harness, without all of the things, which gives me great grief in my heart area. And after the Florida State game last night, I can't really take any more of that.
A little anxiety, yeah.
A report has come out that he is the man that was arrested after scaling a 1,000-foot skyscraper in London on Sunday. Video on social media shows the climber making his way up the 95-story building just after 5:30 a.m. near London Bridge Station. Now, not the first time this 21-year-old gent has done something for social media. By the way, that's how they found out who it was, because he posted a picture on his Facebook account of him on top of the building at 7-something o'clock in the morning. And they went, I wonder if that's the guy that climbed the building. Yeah, 2 and 2. This would be the 3rd time he has been arrested for a stunt like this, including dangling from a 262-foot tall stadium in Milan and reportedly posing as a worker to climb a 1,200-foot crane in Dubai. Shocker. He has a lot of social media followers. I'm not one that writes people's obituaries,
Uh-huh.
You don't tend to see many old individuals doing this.
No.
Stop doing stupid things for social media! There's not enough legs on the planet that are worth bouncing off the sidewalk. And I can't emphasize this enough. I'm watching the video play on my computer, and it's giving me great stress.
And unless you want to be a greasy spot on the sidewalk, you should probably not climb things without harnesses.
Correct. Speaking of greasy spots in the driveway, the Pac-12 is dead, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think we can universally say the Pac-12 is done like dinner.
Yeah. I mean, aside from USC.
Look, a lot of people gave me flack for saying USC was my 4 in the college football playoff. Now, a week into the season, you tell me who exactly is supposed to be their impediment.
Well, you got Oregon, who just got stomped by Georgia by 46.
And will be stomped that way by USC as well.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I'm not basing that off what they did to Rice.
Right. You got Utah, who just lost at Florida.
Which, that's not a bad loss. But if you can't handle Florida's offense, good luck stopping Caleb Williams. And then
I got nothing.
Arizona. Hey, Arizona got a big win over San Diego State. Woo. Got that one wrong.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I got that one wrong.
I was wondering if you were going to go down that route.
Yeah, I got that one wrong.
Yeah.
Reason they have gold fixtures in that town. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Oregon State beat Boise.
Hey, go Beavers! But they're not an impediment to USC.
No.
The Pac-12 has a legitimate problem. It's had a problem forever.
I was going to say they're not competitive with the big dogs.
No. They are the greasy spot in the driveway. Mm-hmm. Your only hope is USC. You just trotted out your best, according to the poll, your best 2 teams. One of them got beat in a barn burner against the 6th best team in the SEC. Mm-hmm. I understand you went on the road. I understand it was cross country. I get all of those things. Still the 6th best team in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think would happen if they played Georgia or Alabama? If they'd look like Oregon.
Mm-hmm. Or that guy who free climbs things eventually will be.
I mean, I just look at this conference and go, the Big Ten doesn't have to expand. The SEC doesn't have to expand.
Mm-hmm.
And with the playoff now doing its thing, okay, I get that we could, the USC, UCLA exodus, that might be it. It might be Texas, Oklahoma, USC, UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
When USC is no longer in this conference, you are irrelevant. I mean, I'm talking you are Sun Belt level immediately. Because be honest with yourself, if Appalachian State played Oregon right now, how close do you think that is?
A touchdown.
At most.
Mm-hmm.
Coastal Carolina, I feel the exact same way.
Okay.
And then you go down the conference and go, I'm not sure that Oregon State could beat half the teams in that conference. And so that's what this is all about.
In the Sun Belt? Is that what you're talking about? Okay.
And so we have talked ad nauseum about with the expansion of the playoff. Your objective is to get as many seats at the table as humanly possible.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any chance that you get more than one?
No, never.
And now I'm going to ask something that I never thought I would ask of any of the Power Fives. How realistic is it that they don't get a seat some years? Obviously, the Big 12, the ACC, the Big 10, the SEC, you're going to get your spots.
Yes.
The way that's written is it's the 6 highest-ranked conference champions. You telling me there's no shot of an AAC Cincinnati last year? Because I'm going to tell you you're wrong. There's going to be one of those about every year.
Yeah.
So now you're fighting to be that 6.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when you have 2? What happens when there's a Cincinnati and a
Northern Illinois?
I'll use an Appalachian State.
Yeah.
What happens then? You have nobody that you can beat that's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
USC goes away. Well, Oregon beat Utah. Great. Then they played in the conference title game, and Utah beat Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Now what? Every other game you've played has been, will they beat Oregon State and Cal, who are basically just whack teams with a different branding.
And is it going to matter who they can bring into the Pac-12? Because I don't know that it will. Even if you can bring in Boise State, who doesn't look – I mean, look at what happened this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Boise State losing at the exact wrong time as a spot's opening up in the Pac-12. And you threw that out there?
But if you can consolidate all of the pieces on the West Coast, everybody recruits better. It will be bumpy for a bit, but that's the one that I look at and go, you have work to do. And this idea that anybody from the Big 12 is going to look at you and be intrigued by anything you have to offer, I got news for you. No, they will not.
No, it's the Pac-12. The Pac-12 will have to gather in even just remotely interesting team on the West Coast or toward the West Coast. I'm looking at like Colorado State and Boise State and San Diego.
At that point, you have to be the accumulation of all parts. Because that's what you are.
But they will always maybe I'm speaking out of turn here. Maybe I'm projecting a little too much. But I still feel like there will always be that team. Yes, they may be just an overrated group of 5 conference at that point. But there will always be one of them, right? Like Oregon.
Not necessarily.
Like if Oregon stays, Oregon's got the ticket every year.
Except when what just happened happens. I got news for you. Oregon could run the table. I'm looking at their schedule. They could run the table. You ain't making this playoff. Not after you got eviscerated.
Even at 12?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You got beat 49-3.
Yeah.
Who are you going to be? All right, ask yourself this question. And I'm going to use the Fighting Mike Houstons as an example. This year, they would have to beat Houston, Central Florida, Cincinnati, Memphis. Fact or fiction, that is more impressive than what Oregon would have to do because you don't play USC.
Fact.
They'd have one win over Utah. Their second best win would be Oregon State. Cincinnati. Tie goes to the winner of the AAC for me.
Yeah.
Sun Belt, same thing. That's how bad this has gotten for you. That is how bad this conference has become. And here's the other thing that I haven't heard anybody say. I've heard a lot of Pac-12 talk. Here's what I haven't heard yet. Who's going to schedule you? Why did Georgia schedule that game with Oregon? Because that's a good non-conference win. Because when you scheduled it 3 years ago, your thought is, okay, well, you would theoretically play USC or something like that in the title game. You'll get Utah. There'll be a couple pieces out there. That could be one of the ugly stains on their record. Yeah, that could be something held against them down the line because Alabama will have played Texas. Okay, Texas cruises through the Big 12 like we think not say cruises, but they're 10-2. Okay, that's an impressive win.
Yes.
8-4 Oregon, irrelevant. You might as well be San Diego State. And so the big boys are going to stop scheduling you. They know that they need that prop you up conference game because you'll get to a point where you're playing 10 games in conference. So I got 2 slots. I'm going to schedule 1 cupcake. There's virtually no doubt about that because I need that 1 layup week. The other one, I'm going to be looking for another big boy. You're not a big boy.
No.
And if I can't get the Georgias and the Floridas of the world to schedule me, what's the difference between me and the WAC? I mean, really ask yourself that question. If nobody will play us, then what are we going to do? We're just going to beat up on each other and go, well, they're the best of the dog water that we have out here.
Right.
You're already on the West Coast where nobody watches your games anyway because they're at 4 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast. That's a problem. Those are all problems. And I think their only solution is to merge with the rest of the West Coast and just go, we're the glorified Pac 40.
The Pac 40. Yeah, it doesn't look good for the Pac-12. We all know that we all know that it's not a competitive division or a competitive conference. Pretty much every time they match up with an SEC Big Ten team, it doesn't go their way.
Oh, no, they get demolished.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you. Just looking at the Mountain West as it sits right now, I am not sure that if you went top to bottom with what this will be with no USC and UCLA, you do a Mountain West Pac-12 like the ACC Big 10 showdown.
Challenge. Yeah.
You do that in college football, I'm not sure that you don't end about 5-5.
Really?
Really. I'm not sure Fresno State's not better than practically every team in that conference. And that is a pathetic state of affairs.
Again, we're talking minus USC.
Minus USC.
Right.
USC is going to walk to the Pac-12 title 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Until they wind up in the Big Ten, this won't even be competitive. I mean, I said it all offseason. Everybody, well, you're overvaluing Lincoln Riley. No, I am not. No, I am not. You're bringing in talent like that, and these guys look like a glorified higher level of the Mountain West.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then.
Look what he's been able to do, and yes, he sniped a bunch of players off of his former team, but that's what he had to do to be competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you think is going to happen when he's got the full weight of a full recruiting cycle behind him? To go to all these players in Southern California and go, this is the place to be. And this is the only place to be on the West Coast. You want to play West Coast football? You want to stay near home? Where else are you going to go? You going to go to UCLA? No. He's going to have his pick of the litter at USC.
Mm-hmm. And then when he goes to the Big Ten, I get to play Ohio State. I get to play big boy games.
Yeah.
As opposed to, we're going to Cal Berkeley this week. Great. Yeah, I'll pass.
Yep.
Seacrest out.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
Roots and wings. The two greatest gifts any parent can give their kid. But when it's time for them to head off to college, there's also groceries, laundry detergent, notebook paper, ironing instructions, and futons that assemble with parts left over. At Ingles, we have all the comforts of home right around the corner. We know that life's biggest steps are best taken with faith and trust in the ones you love the most. Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
When it comes to losing weight and getting healthier, there is one name that I now trust above all others, and it's Dr. Ashley Lucas. The PhD weight loss program has helped me lose more than 85 pounds since Thanksgiving. The numbers speak for themselves. The PhD team has helped me through the process with the guidance of Dr. Ashley Lucas, who is the owner and founder, and now she has a new title, best-selling author. Her new book, 5 Steps to Reset the Scale, is a bestseller on Amazon. PhD is helping me collapse the visceral fat that has been holding me back all these years. And I'm also learning how to break the addictions that I have with food. PhD provides me with 80% of the food that I need to have success on the program, and at under 210 pounds, it has opened up a whole new world to me. Get Dr. Ashley Lucas's book, 5 Steps to Reset the Scale, at myphdweightloss.com. PhD Weight Loss, the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans.
Count on Lowe's for Labor Day savings. Get a Maytag top-load washer for just $568 and a top-load dryer only $548. That's a savings of $462 for the pair. Plus, get free delivery and special financing. Also, buy one, get one 50% off select HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Paint and Cabot Exterior Stains via rebate. Shop Labor Day savings now at Lowe's. See store at Lowe's.com for details and restrictions. Gas dryers available at additional cost. Exclusions apply while supplies last. Valid through 9/7.
What's better than the long weekend? Kohl's budget-boosting deals on denim. I got myself jeans for $19.99. 40% off Levi's for my son. Even my husband found a pair for 30% off. Plus, because I spent over $25, I got $10 off. And earned Kohl's Cash. More style, more savings. Kohl's. Select styles. Offers end September 5th. Levi's coupons do not apply. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohls.com for details.
Keep listening for the next chance to win your way to our iHeartRadio Music Festival, September 23rd and 24th at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Tickets are on sale right now. AXS.com.
Stream it free on the CW app and CWTV.com.
Brought to you by T-Mobile. Switch to the network with more 5G bars in more places so you can experience your music whether you're streaming from home or from the front row. Plus, customers can get closer to the festival with VIP access, only from the leader in 5G coverage, T-Mobile.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think of calling for a ride, but nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. The results of driving drunk are tragic. That's why law enforcement is out there looking for impaired drivers to save lives. So So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man!
Yeah, we do have the NFL kicking off this week. Thursday night, the big kickoff game between the LA Rams and the Buffalo Bills.
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
And there'll be plenty of NFL talk the rest of the week here on the Sportsocracy, but not today, my friends.
I was surrounded by Buffalo Bills fans all weekend. And I'm going to be honest with you, the closer I get to that team, the more I think I'm starting to like the Bills more than the Jets. I will always be a Jets fan.
Mm-hmm.
But the dirty little secret of being in this business, your love for your team dwindles every passing day.
Well, you just open yourself up to other teams.
Well, you have to be objective.
Yes.
So last night, yes, I watched Florida State with bated breath. At the same time, I have to look at it and go, do you realize how bad this could have been?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't block a PAT, you could have been the laughingstock of college football.
A guy who's not the laughingstock of college football. Great segue there by me, if I do say so myself.
Pat yourself on the back. Always a good sign.
Shedeur Sanders, Deion's kid, playing quarterback for Jackson State, and he was in fuego over the weekend as they just absolutely stomped Florida A&M. It was a very, very ugly game.
We'll put it this way.
It's Florida A&M.
They beat them 59-3. That's better than Carolina did.
It is, which is another warning sign for me for Carolina's defense.
Oh, and by the way, it was at Florida A&M.
Yes, it was. But Shedeur Sanders completed his first 17 passes of the game. Eventually would go on to have the stat line of 29 of 33 with 5 touchdown passes in the 59-3 beatdown. The question is he an actual real big boy player in college football?
He was a high-level recruit anyway. Mm-hmm. He was a top 100 ESPN recruit.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very talented quarterback. Here's my biggest question. When his dad leaves, is he staying at Jackson State or is he following his dad?
He's following his dad.
Because I got news for you. Jackson State, I'm looking at the schedule. They will absolutely eviscerate every team they play.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the kind of recruits that Deion Sanders is getting at Jackson State. You look at that coaching staff. How many high-level NFL guys are on that staff? Because it's a lot.
Yep.
And now you look around and go, okay, where do you land?
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt he will – fact or fiction, he will be the hottest candidate in the next hiring cycle.
Deion?
Yes.
Yes.
And I don't think it's all that close.
No.
I would say every big boy job that comes open, they go chasing Deion.
Mm-hmm.
For exactly what I've spent the first 2 hours talking about. You better have an element of cool. Because Deion Sanders has brought it to Jackson State. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I watched a ton of that game because I didn't. I watched the highlights of it. It is abundantly clear in just a few plays. The level of talent here is drastically different.
Yes. It's far and away above what anybody else at that level has.
And so you figure out, so you just play that forward and go, what could he do at a Power 5? TCU was legitimately interested this year. I said they made a mistake in not hiring him.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I think is going to happen is the peak of the Mike Norvell years have already happened.
Despite the win against LSU.
And 10 games from now, Florida State has a legitimate, okay, do we go another year with Norvell or do we go to Deion?
Mm-hmm.
And we bring back the cool because Cristobal's at Miami, Billy Napier's at Florida, and we're falling behind every day. It's getting better, but we're falling behind them because they're doing it quicker.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Coming up after the Sports Center update, it will be daily draft time, as we always kick off the third hour with the daily draft, and this is how we're going to do daily drafts on Mondays from now on. It is going to be 6 rounds, Jeremy and I pitting our wits against each other, picking 3 winners and 3 losers of the weekend. Does not matter what order you take them in. 3 winners, 3 losers. Daily Draft is next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, it's been a rainy Labor Day Monday. We're continuing to see the rains move up from the southwest, coming out of Georgia into western North Carolina, and we're under a flood watch that continues here into the evening. Some places have had some heavy downpours down to our south. We're in the mid-60s in the valley tonight with rain moving northeast. Mostly cloudy Tuesday, 81. More scattered storms Wednesday, Thursday, upper 70s near 80. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
The Dell Technologies Labor Day event is here. Start a season of productivity with up to 48% off Vostro laptops with 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Upgrade by calling 877-ASK-DELL.
This Labor Day, save $50 on a Lowe's exclusive Char-Broil Performance Series 4-burner gas grill, just $299. Plus, get 3 1-cubic-foot bags of Stay Green Garden Soil for just $10. Offer valid through 9/7 while supplies last. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
The Labor Day event from Dell Technologies is here. End the summer strong by starting up a new season of productivity. Your business upgrade begins with up to 48% off top-rated laptops, like Vostro, taking performance to the next level with 12th Gen Intel Core processors. It's time to push your growing business even further. What's next for you? Upgrade today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Aaron Judge slams his 54th home run of the season today, a 2-run shot in the 6th that gives the Yankees the lead for good against the Twins. The Yankees win it 5-2. The college football weekend wraps up tonight in Atlanta. 4th-ranked Clemson against Georgia Tech. Eric McLean from the ACC Network believes Clemson is ready for a big season.
This team looks to get back on track. Their defense is going to be one of the best in the country. They have the best defensive line in the country with star power and depth. Those guys are going to be absolutely getting after it. And, the biggest question mark still is going to be quarterback play.
DJ Uiagalelei at the controls for the Tigers. That game is at 8 Eastern on ESPN. The Steelers will start the season with Mitch Trubisky at quarterback. He earns the job ahead of Mason Rudolph and rookie Kenny Pickett. Trubisky is also voted one of the 5 team captains. American Jessica Pegula advances to her first U.S. Open quarterfinal with a win today. Right now on ESPN, American Frances Tiafoe a set apiece with Rafa Nadal.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Clemson is not as high and mighty as they were 4 or 5 years ago. They're a different program now.
The guys will be back Tuesday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome back into the Ingles Studio here on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 the Sportsocracy. Heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. You can take us with you everywhere you go. You can see us everywhere you go as well. All you got to do is go to the YouTube stream. Hopefully you've already subscribed to the YouTube channel, so you can just pull it right up on your phone. If you haven't, youtube.com/thesportsocracy. It's that simple. Get in with us every day. Subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. Don't forget to follow the link in the description of the video so that you can get in on the battle for the belt. The Beer City's best fantasy football player. You have until Thursday to get in on all of the action. A $20 donation will get you in, and we will give that $20 donation to Eblin Charity's St. Nicholas Project as we help them provide Christmas presents for the needy families around the Buncombe County area. It's time for the Daily Draft. The third hour of the program every day kicks off with the Daily Draft, and we've decided now on Mondays, this is how it's going to go. So Friday's Daily Drafts are all going to be games of the weekend. We will be picking the best games and just chit-chatting about what we're going to see.
I think I beat you in that, by the way.
Did you? I
had Utah, Florida, which was
hell of a game.
I had Florida State, LSU, NC State, East Carolina, and then 3 that weren't great. You had Carolina, App State, Notre Dame, Ohio State.
That was there, yeah.
Cincinnati, Arkansas.
Uh-huh.
And then some less than ideals.
I think I win. I won.
I'll give you first pick. I would rather have second pick anyway. Go ahead.
So on Fridays, we do the best games of the weekend. And then on Mondays, what we're going to do is we're going to do 6 rounds, and we're each going to take 3 winners and 3 losers of the weekend. Does not matter what order you draft them in, but you got to have 3 winners and 3 losers. So if I have first pick, then I will draft the loser of the weekend, and it's Mr. Brian Kelly.
I cannot disagree with you.
He is the biggest loser of the weekend because all of the show and the hype around him at LSU, you just thought everything's going to pick back up where, national championship Ed Orgeron left off.
Go Tigers.
Nah,
I can't unsee this. Somebody on Twitter put out, I really wish an entity would pay Ed Orgeron to just give his analysis of LSU games all year long. And now I can't unsee it.
Mm-hmm.
And we will happily give him that platform right here. I'll live stream it. I don't care. I would love to have heard his take on Brian Kelly as it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you'd have to find somebody that was very poignant stenographer. I think that's what that's called.
Okay.
Isn't that the
takes notes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would need somebody very schooled at that to dictate everything he said. But
right. I felt like it was not necessarily a layup game, but the thought was it should be. You got a Florida State program. It's, been in turmoil for the last few years. LSU, you're supposed to be an instant rebound because of who you are. You're a national championship caliber coach, we all believe, and you're supposed to have everybody bought into this and ready to go. You're at home. I mean, I get that it wasn't in Death Valley. It was in the Superdome, and there were plenty of Florida State fans there. But
I told you there would be.
Yes, but you are in your own backyard. You should not fall on your face that way. And to have special teams be the killer of the entire game.
And just the fact you were completely dreadful offensively.
Mm-hmm.
If you took Jaden Daniels away, do you know how many rushing yards they had as a team?
27.
You're too high. It's 25.
Oh, wow.
The longest run of the day that wasn't Jaden Daniels was 9 yards.
Mm-hmm. And it looks so good right out of the gate. I mean, that first play where Jaden Daniels goes 25 yards sneaking past the FSU defense because they just left him a wide open lane to the sideline.
He is very, very electric.
Yes.
His arm is just not what I thought it was. I thought Arizona State had broken him.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I'm like you. I try not to make sweeping declarations. I was very impressed at his ability to move. I was not really impressed with much else. So, to me, very formidable selection to start off with.
Yes. Brian Kelly, loser of the week.
We're very loosey-goosey with the rules around here.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going to take a little bit of a broad brush. And I'm going to say my first winner is the state of Florida.
The state of Florida?
The state of Florida.
Wow, okay.
Oh, yeah, you can do that.
Okay, all right.
Because to me, they were I don't feel like Florida feels great. I think Florida State is encouraged. Miami, you beat a nobody.
Mm-hmm.
But
beat them soundly.
I mean, he scored 70, right. So that's always a win. But I feel like all three of them are looking around, going, it's getting better. All three of us, I feel like, are in the right trajectory after what I just saw. Florida State, I can sell that. Florida, I can certainly sell that.
Mm-hmm.
And Miami is, I would say, the furthest ahead of the three.
Okay. All right, so Jeremy goes with a winner of the week for his first pick, and it is the state of Florida. Now, does that take them off the board? Does that take all three of those teams off the board? Okay. All right.
Nope.
Okay.
I've just, and there's something to be said, and it's one of the reasons that I liked your first loser. How many of those games got really big spotlight? So LSU Florida State was the only game on last night.
Yes.
Many people are off today.
Mm-hmm.
That game probably did a crazy good number.
I would imagine so.
And with as bad as it looked for Brian Kelly, you can spin it very nicely for Florida State.
Sure.
Utah, Florida was the one that came down to the wire in that late window on Saturday night. So you were in primetime positions, and you showed nicely. And I'm going to go broad brush here again. My biggest loser
the Pac-12
is the Pac-12.
Yeah.
I mean, you just got tormented by the only two reputable opponents you actually played.
Mm-hmm.
As good as it went for the SEC, I could argue it went that bad for the Pac-12.
Okay.
If it wasn't for Brian Kelly, the SEC would have had a perfect weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Still find that funny. By the way, I want to see if you can get this right.
All right.
There are 5 schools in D1 FBS college football that are 2-0. How many can you name?
Oh, my gosh. 2-0.
There are 5 FBS schools that are 2-0.
Okay, so you got North Carolina, Tennessee.
Nope.
They didn't play week 1?
They did play week 1.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
There's 6.
Okay.
I must have missed them as I was scrolling. Oh, there's another one in their own conference. That's how I missed them.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm bad at this off the top of the head thing. I got 2.
Florida State, North Carolina, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Western Kentucky, and Nevada.
Nice.
If you ever need to know how bad week 1 football is.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I got the 2 big schools that play.
Tennessee's going to be talked about a lot this week. I have a funny feeling.
Why?
With that Pittsburgh game looming.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it will be their first legitimate opponent. So, yeah. All right.
Can you imagine how look, I'm high on Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have, I'm going to say turned a corner. I kind of feel about Tennessee the way I do about Florida State. I think you got the right guy. The talent is getting better, and you're on the correct trajectory. If they go into Pittsburgh, they go into the formerly known Heinz Field and beat Pittsburgh, do you realize how loud that's going to get? By the way, Tennessee didn't play this week. They played Ball State
on Thursday.
They're still showing as 1-0. Why is that? They played Ball State on Thursday. They didn't play in week 0.
Oh,
you screwed me up.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I pulled the stat. I even had it. They played on Thursday.
I had thought they had played last week.
Well, you said it, and I just kind of went with it. Like, okay, I must have missed that.
It's all right.
Trust the stat guy.
That's right. All right, so you have gone with the state of Florida as your winner of the week, and the Pac-12 as your loser of the week. It's my turn. And I'm going to go another loser. Because it's Iowa. The Iowa Hawkeye. I told you flipped out on me on Friday when I told you that I had heard that, if you can get South Dakota State.
Oh, I didn't flip out on the pick. I have looked at every line in North America.
Right.
If this can be bet in a back alley somewhere, I've seen it. But I had not seen that line anywhere.
Right. So I had heard that South Dakota State, they're going to give Iowa more than Iowa wants. And you couldn't find it anywhere. And this is probably why. because Vegas looked at Iowa and went, I don't know how you're going to score, because against the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State, would you like to know just how many offensive yards they were able to put up?
140.
You're close. You're close. It's a little more than that. It was 166. 166.
I know they scored 7 points without scoring a touchdown, and that hadn't been done in many years.
That's my next bullet point. The defense outscored the offense 4-3. You heard me right.
They had 2 safeties.
2 safeties versus 1 field goal. That's hard to do. They also turned the ball over twice and had a grand total of 10 first downs in the entire game. You are a Big Ten, quote-unquote, power.
And that is you're being very liberal with the word power, but I'll allow it.
I'm just saying, 7-3 was the final score. Iowa Hawkeyes over the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. You better find some offense or you're going to be left behind in the Big Ten in a major way. Iowa has to be a loser of the week.
I do not disagree with you.
Now I'm going to pick a winner. Winner of the week, my number one winner of the week, has to be the team that just won its second game in school history against an FBS program. And it was the same program that they beat 3 years ago to get it. It's the Old Dominion Monarchs. At home against Virginia Tech. I don't care what your thoughts are on Virginia Tech. That is a big deal. As our current president put it once, it's a big effing deal. That Old Dominion was able to get the win. Now, obviously, you get a little tick mark for what is only assumed to be a robbery during the middle of the game of the visiting team's locker room. But the very huge deal for Old Dominion, who has just moved up to FBS. They put themselves in a fantastic situation to be able to begin recruiting and building some kind of a Sunbelt power. Maybe. For Old Dominion. So they are my winner of the week.
All right. You went right into the break there, which is good for me.
Yep. You get to think about it.
Get a little think time. 2 picks here. I want to position myself. I know what I'm doing first. The question is, all right, I got 3 more that I really want. Which one are you not going to take?
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
Your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingles Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingles Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
You might not have the biggest garage on the block, but with eBay Motors, there's 122 million parts right at your fingertips. Whatever you need, there's something that fits your vehicle. Air filters, tires, seat covers, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
You wash your hands and brush your teeth, but what about your nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, dirt, and germs, and it's why nose cleaning is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons: sinusitis, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they also find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Nearly 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying things like, "Best product I've ever used," and "Amazing, I love my Navage." That's because Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less. But the biggest payoff is improved health. Here's the key point. Navage is good personal hygiene, and it's going to help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, Target, and online. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
It's hurricane season. Flood insurance can help you avoid paying out of pocket for costly damage. It's time to trust your instincts, get flood insurance, and protect the life you've built. Visit floodsmart.gov. Sponsored by FEMA.
The Sportsocracy.
We're just dumping a bag of hammers. Now, welcome back into the Sportsocracy here in the Ingles Studio. We're always brought to you by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. Also, give a good shout out to our good friends over at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, because my car is just fantastic. I absolutely love my new car. I mean, it's a certified used that I got from Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. My 2017 Rogue just keeps me safe on the road. It's much better than that hunk of junk that I was driving before. I can't thank them enough. So Devin and the rest of the gang over at Fred Anderson Nissan, you need to go see them at 629 Brevard Road if you're in the market for a car.
And they will give you an extra $250 on your trade-in just for saying that you heard about it from us. That's $250 extra on your trade, even if you don't buy a car. 629 Brevard Road, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Yeah, do that, and you too can be considered a winner of the week. We are drafting winners and losers of the week, as we will do every Monday here in the Sportsocracy throughout football season. We're the biggest storylines that stuck out to us. I had the first pick. I went with Brian Kelly as my overall loser of the week. I also added Iowa to that list. I mean, when your defense outscores your offense and you only can muster 160-some yards of total offense against the South Dakota State Jackrabbits, I feel like that's a bit of a loss on your part. Old Dominion was my winner of the week, as I took them in this daily draft after they upset Virginia Tech for the second time in 3 years. Jeremy, so far you have taken the state of Florida as your winner of the week and the Pac-12 as your loser of the week.
Now, I thought I was throwing you a bone because you're the North Carolina guy.
Yep.
So you didn't do it.
Nope.
And now I'm going to. So my second winner is the state of North Carolina. I now have 2 full states.
You do.
I don't feel like there was a loser among the 4 teams that played.
Okay.
And I'm talking in the big games. Wake Forest, okay, it's fine. NC State, East Carolina, North Carolina, App State. 2 electric games that were the talk of the nation in North Carolina. Not known as a prodigious football state, at least recently.
Yes.
And I feel like all 4 showed themselves nicely and have shown that those 4 programs are all on the rise.
Mm-hmm. You feel much better about NC State and North Carolina than I do. I can't by any stretch make them winners of the week.
Oh, I can. Oh, I think they were all winners. I frankly, I wanted to break it into 2 different sections because I wanted to have the state of the schools in the state and the coaches in the state.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think they were all winners. When you get on a national stage like that, you want to show yourself well. Appalachian State, Carolina was the most entertaining game I've watched in several years.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any defense played? No. Do I care? No.
No.
And East Carolina, NC State, completely different game, but also very entertaining.
Mm-hmm. I had a different take on those games because I believe that North Carolina, I mean, yeah, it's great that you hung on and you won the game, but did you really come out a winner? And the same thing for NC State. You were a top 15 team in the country. There's no reason you should have been that close with East Carolina.
Who I feel is better than you do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go another winner because I think I have two deep divey losers that you're not going to pursue.
Okay.
My winner, the entire program of Notre Dame.
Oh, I wanted that one.
I feel like people are looking at that game the wrong way. They're making the narrative that Ohio State was not impressive. Look, the offense was not as prodigious as you would like for it to have been, but I fully believe that's because Notre Dame was just that good.
Mm-hmm.
The defense was good. The program looks like it's headed in the right direction, and I think 2 years from now you'll look at the Marcus Freeman hire and go, they got the better end of that. Brian Kelly leaving and taking the money at LSU. We just promoted the coordinator. I'm not usually a fan of that. But I think you won.
But they were also in a situation where if that didn't happen, you were going to lose him.
Oh,
he
no
was
doubt.
Going somewhere.
Oh, no doubt.
Right. It worked out the best possible way, I think, for Notre Dame. All right. So you got the state of North Carolina and Notre Dame. Thank you for stealing one of my winners of the weekend. So I guess I'm going to have to go with my next winner of the weekend, and it's going to be kind of piggybacking on one of your winners of the weekend, but it's Billy Napier. Billy Napier, the head coach of Florida, wins his opening game after coming over from Louisiana. He was one of the most sought-after coaches in the coaching carousel, and I always wanted to see what he could do when he got to the big stage. And he goes to Florida, where, let's face it, Florida football has been in the tank for quite a while.
They've been nationally relevant. They just haven't been. I mean, they played the Sugar Bowl 2 years ago, so it's very difficult for me to say it's in the tank.
Yeah, no, but they were never a threat. And now I feel like they're a threat. Now I feel like they put the SEC on notice of, we just took down a top 10 team. Now, I get that it wasn't, beating them by 46 like Georgia just did to Oregon. But honestly, we've talked about how we feel like Oregon was overrated to begin with. We said that before we even saw them take the field this year. Utah, pretty good team. I did not expect, there was a little part of me that expected that was going to be a really tough game and that Florida could win. But I also felt like they showed the gut, the determination at the end of that game to close it down. They got the interception in the end zone. It was a fun party in the swamp, and I think Florida football is back from the depths that we saw it sink to last year. So Billy Napier, my second winner of the week, along with Old Dominion. Now for another loser of the week, and I get there's probably at least one guy in our YouTube comments is not going to like this, but the first thing I heard from a South Carolina fan this morning about their reaction of the weekend was, Spencer Rattler sucks at football. Yep. Yes, he does. And I feel like Spencer has to be a loser of the week. You played Georgia State. He threw 2 interceptions and just didn't look good at all. And I don't see how any South Carolina fan can look at what happened and go, yeah, we're good. Remember all that hype and we heard from, was it Adam Black that kept saying, oh, we're going to compete?
It's been every South Carolina fan.
Stop it.
And look, I'm going to reiterate that I think with Shane Beamer, you're doing things, you're in the right trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to say this again. I've said this about both of these quarterbacks. You can put a different helmet on a quarterback. It does not change who they are. Spencer Rattler, Keaton Slovis.
Bo Nix.
You know what? And Bo Nix. You know what I saw from all three of them? Exactly what I saw from them in the previous stop.
Yes. Spencer Rattler, to me, he's a loser of the weekend. Because it should have driven home to every South Carolina fan who was over their skis about Spencer Rattler coming in to save the day and make us relevant again. No, you're not going to be relevant again.
All right, you left me the three I wanted.
Well, good.
I'm going to throw an honorable mention to Illinois, who pooed in my punch bowl in the last 2 minutes. I covered it for 58 minutes, and then you just completely forgot how to play defense. I've wanted to do that for 3 days. The first of my two, I'm going LSU special teams. I am going to say this as a lifelong Florida State fan. If it was not for your special teams, having played virtually no offense for an entire 60-minute game, your star receiver petulantly pouting like a toddler for the vast majority of this game, your quarterback having almost no downfield threat the entire game. He was much more lethal with his feet than he was with his arm. Had it not been for the special teams, you'd have still won that game. You don't muff 2 punts, you don't have 2 field goals blocked, you would have won this game. And the narrative around you would be substantially different. I feel like the defense stepped up when it had to. The offense stepped up when it had to. And yes, Brian Kelly's getting a lot of flack. I've given him a lot of flack. I'm still looking at it going, all right, my sweeping declaration is your special teams were Green Bay Packer bad.
Mm-hmm.
My other loser is pretty simple, and it's in kind of the same vein as Brian Kelly. It's Jim Harbaugh. Wrong one. I wrote down Jim and said John. I feel like when your quarterback basically calls you out of saying you never communicated to me that this was happening, I found it out in the media, that's a bad look.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very bad look. Now, I think that team is talented. I don't love a lot of the Big Ten. Obviously, I love Ohio State, and I think they have a vendetta against Michigan. But looking at the rest of the schedule, I could easily see a path that – what is Michigan's floor to you?
The floor?
The floor. And this is the second time that I've chided Jim Harbaugh.
10-2.
I'm not sure that you're wrong. Because I just don't know who you're supposed to lose to.
No.
You catch virtually every tough game at home. I just think if you're Jim Harbaugh, you have to walk away from this deal with Cade McNamara and go, all right, this was a massive debit in the credit and debit category of my national cachet because my quarterback came out and basically said that I didn't communicate with him, and that's a bad look.
Mm-hmm.
So my final loser, Jim Harbaugh.
Okay. All right, final pick of the daily draft for me. I got to pick another winner of the weekend. So I already have 3 losers and 2 winners. Since you stole Notre Dame from me, my last winner of the weekend is the SEC. Look at the SEC, and save for, Spencer Rattler in South Carolina.
And Brian Kelly.
And Brian Kelly and LSU. Everybody else,
it would have been a spotless weekend. You played 14 non-conference games. You were 1 block PAT away from being perfect.
Mm-hmm. You were great. It started with Tennessee on Thursday night, scoring 59 points. I get they were playing Ball State, but still, you saw things that you really liked there. Georgia, of course, dominating Oregon. Alabama doing Alabama things against a lesser opponent. Florida stepping up and beating Utah. Arkansas getting the best of Cincinnati at home. It was a good weekend for the SEC. We didn't expect that it was going to be a rough weekend because this is, a lot of cupcake games in here. But also when you have Vanderbilt, of all teams, leading the nation in scoring, just about. I think Carolina's got that wrapped up. Scoring 50 last week, scoring 60 this week. But Vanderbilt scored over 100 points in the first 2 weeks of the season. The SEC is just proving that it is the conference to beat. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We will do the daily draft winners and losers of the weekend every Monday right here on 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400, and of course, everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. When we come back, the most important message of the day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, it's been a rainy Labor Day Monday. We're continuing to see the rains move up from the southwest, coming out of Georgia into western North Carolina, and we're under a flood watch that continues here into the evening. Some places have had some heavy downpours down to our south. We're in the mid-60s in the valley tonight with rain moving northeast. Mostly cloudy Tuesday, 81. More scattered storms Wednesday, Thursday, upper 70s near 80. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by FEMA and the National Flood Insurance Program. It's hurricane season. Flood insurance can help you avoid paying out of pocket for costly damage. It's time to trust your instincts, get flood insurance, and protect the life you've built. Visit floodsmart.gov. Sponsored by FEMA.
You might not have the biggest garage on the block, but with eBay Motors, there's 122 million parts right at your fingertips. Whatever you need, there's something that fits your vehicle. Air filters, tires, seat covers, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
Decisions. Not easy. Listening to the NFL Podcast Network on the free iHeartRadio app. Now that's an easy decision. The NFL is back, and only the free iHeartRadio app can get you inside the game with exclusive podcasts from NFL Network. Get inside the huddle. Get inside the play call.
Let's go bunch right, Zach.
Get inside the locker room.
What the? Get out of here.
Okay, not that part of the locker room. Oh, and it's all free. Download the free iHeartRadio app now and experience the NFL season like never before.
iHeartRadio.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. Back here in a Sportsocracy for the most important message of the day. No, it's not Spencer Rattler sucks at football. It is don't do crimes. Because it's never a good idea. And you're going to find yourself, obviously, in a situation and you don't want to wind up in. Jeremy, I'm going to let you go first today.
My story is about 35-year-old Chad Korn. He is an aggressive criminal. Apparently, he left his house a little hungry and maybe under the influence of some recreational narcotics because he showed up to a Little Caesars and the side door was unlocked. Apparently, this thing had been propped open so that employees could smoke during their shift. So he slides in through this door wearing only a pair of boxer shorts and socks. Upon entering the restaurant, he grabbed 2 bottles of water, a brownie, and an employee apron. It was at this time that he realized when he came through the door, he knocked the chalk out of the door, and now he was locked in the restaurant, which made it really easy for authorities to be called because he was trapped. At this point, he tried to escape through the ceiling. He eventually fell through the tiles to the floor below, and that set off the security alarm, which called cops again to say this is actively happening. Now, he actually answered the phone. Somebody called to see if the restaurant was open, and he answered it and said, "Nope, we're closed."
Nice.
They caught that on the security video. He was arrested and was charged with burglary exceeding $1,000 in damages and petty theft.
Mm-hmm.
He was also arrested wearing an employee apron. In the words of Mike Tyson, that's methed up.
12 individuals in Italy have been arrested, and 30 more are under investigation. Because people will just believe anything you tell them. If you give people a little bit of hope for a better and brighter future, they'll be willing to fork over the money.
Did you fall for another scam?
It's scam artists. It's scam artists. And here's the thing. I don't understand how people fall for this kind of thing. So what these this group of people were doing, they were selling citizenship to a country that does not exist. Yeah.
Man, people are bad at geography.
They were selling citizenship to the Antarctic theocratic state of San Giorgio. So supposedly an island off of the coast of Antarctica that apparently these people made others in Italy believe that existed thanks to the Antarctic Treaty of 1959. I feel like that's Googleable. Is that a word?
If it's not, it should be.
I mean, GTS. Just Google that stuff. All you got to do is find out that the Antarctic theocratic state of San Giorgio does not exist. These people were selling citizenship, promising that they will pay fewer taxes than they pay in Italy, which is a great selling point for all of us. Wouldn't we all love to pay fewer taxes? We'd have passports. They're promising land. If you're not a landowner, hey, you got some land out here on this beautiful island in Antarctica. Who the hell wants to live in Antarctica?
I'm going to say it's probably a little cold.
And even receive titles of nobility. So you could be the Earl of whatever you want to call your land in the Antarctic theocratic state of San Giorgio.
Can I be the Earl of Pearl?
The Earl of Pearl.
Because
yeah. Whatever you want to call it. Over more than a year of selling these, how many people do you think they got to take them up on this offer?
4.
No.
If it's more than 4, I'm going to be very sad.
Way more than 4.
Oh, boy.
700. And they were selling these packages for citizenship for between 200 and 1,000 euros. Which in U.S. dollars is about equivalent. Like right now, the euro or the dollar is like 0.99% of what a euro is worth. So
people thought they were buying land for $200.
I guess. It's a hell of a deal, right? If I could be Sir Tank Spencer of, Tandyland. What?
You don't want to know what I was going to say.
Oh my God.
It wasn't going to be nice.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, you'll have to watch the Uncensored Wednesday show for what I was going to say right there.
It's been a rough day, okay? We've had some weird things happen, and tune in Wednesday morning.
Brian Haynes and I will spend at least 5 minutes laughing about this.
Oh, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take the over on 5 minutes?
Because I'm not going to tell him beforehand.
400,000 euros is what they were able to get from this scam of 700 people that they duped into thinking that they had titles of nobility and land in an island that does not exist. They need to bury people like this under the jail. Because there's a few stories in this of I spent my last 400 euros hoping for a better outlook on life. Don't do crimes. Crimes are bad.
All right, this is an all-college football show, but there is something in the NFL that merits talking about.
Do we have breaking news?
Oh, it's not breaking news.
Oh, okay. All right, give it to us. What?
Mitchell Trubisky is officially the starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Duh.
That was not as much a given as you think.
I'll never believe it. I get Kenny Pickett had a great preseason. But we had, several guys who had great preseasons, didn't even make the roster. Not saying Kenny Pickett was ever in danger of not making the roster. We all knew this was the plan moving forward. Mitchell Trubisky's coming in. He's going to be the starter to start the season. It may not last 3 weeks.
Oh, I think it will.
I think it will.
Because the unsettling thing, if you had a lot on Kenny Pickett as Rookie of the Year, he's not the 2 either. He's the emergency 3.
Is he really?
He is the emergency 3 behind Mason Rudolph.
Wow. Now that is the shocking news to me, that Kenny Pickett is not the no doubt 2.
Well, Trubisky's a team captain too. So to me, this is Mike Tomlin's way of saying, we think we're better than the rest of you do.
Mm-hmm.
If he was going into the season going best case scenario, we're going 7-10, it would be Kenny Pickett. Because he is one of the safest coaches in this league.
Mm-hmm.
And getting reps for Pickett is obviously a priority. But it's just not a high priority for him.
But I also believe, do you want to trot out the rookie when you don't necessarily have – do you want to put him in danger? Because his offensive line is not good.
Well, it's not good, and it's not going to be good for a year. So, basically, based on what you just said, we're just not going to play him all year.
No,
about that.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm not trotting him out there the first couple of games of the year, especially.
And I go back to the same problem that I've said multiple times about Kenny Pickett. For me, you either play him week 1 or you plan on not playing him at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because the easiest 4-game stretch on this schedule is the first 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
At the Bengals, Patriots, at the Browns, Jets. Now, that is 3 very formidable pass rushes.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of winnable games, that's probably your best 4-game stretch of the season.
Yeah.
They don't play 2 back-to-back teams that I don't have making the playoffs the entire year after that. And so I just look at this and go, I feel like Pickett was the most ready to start and then went into the situation where he was the least likely to start.
Mm-hmm.
Because they think with Trubisky they can find something in him. He's a vet. And I think they look at him the same way I do. You take away the Matt Nagy years, and you were not nearly as bad of a draft pick as you have been made out to be.
Mm-hmm.
Then he went to Buffalo. That was universally said to be a huge thing for Josh Allen, having him in the room. Now you look at the team and go, we think we're better than you do.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to make decisions that way.
And you can't blame them. You can't blame Mike Tomlin for being upbeat, because didn't they make the playoffs the year that Ben got hurt and Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph had to start 10 games or whatever? If not, they were terribly close.
I mean, they haven't had a losing season under Mike Tomlin.
Exactly. Mike Tomlin believes that he can play his brand of football, and as long as I have a half-ass veteran quarterback to throw out there, we're probably going to win a lot of games. We're going to rely on our defense. We're going to rely on running the football, and we'll see how it goes. Now, could everything come off the rails and we see Kenny Pickett come in week 7?
See, I don't think
and
so.
Get his reps? Maybe.
I don't think so. I don't think with a defense that I believe is going to be very formidable.
Mm-hmm.
If you're saying this now, I just don't see where it switches. I mean, because how do you fall out of playoff contention? This team's going to win games they're not supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think their floor is probably 8 and 9, which is why I have them as one of the best overbets in the NFL in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, at what point do you go, all right, time to go to the rookie? I mean, would Trubisky just have to be terrible?
Yes.
That's not going to happen. In this offense with those receivers, that's just not going to happen.
I would agree.
So, I mean, I'm looking at this going, there's probably a lot of people that have Kenny Pickett to win Rookie of the Year going, well, that's not going to happen.
Set money on fire. Congratulations.
If you want to know why we don't talk about futures bets with quarterbacks, bingo.
Yep. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. I have lost 90 pounds with the PhD weight loss program. Thinking back to where I was start of last football season, it's like I'm a whole different person now. PhD has given me the plan to shed the weight, collapse the visceral fat. My body is different. I'm able to be more active now, and I'm making great healthy choices that keep the weight off, and I will continue to do so once I've reached my weight loss goal and hit the maintenance phase.
This weekend is the perfect example of what PhD has done for me. I ran around like a chicken with my head cut off. Previous engagements, weddings, all kinds of events. I would not have been able to do this when I was making bad fast food choices that were affecting my sleep and my energy. Thanks to the PhD weight loss program, those aren't problems anymore.
Walked in at 295, and now I'm at 205. It's a hell of a way to put yourself on a better path, especially considering I just turned 40. And that's when your body is supposed to attack you and, make you start going downhill. PhD weight loss, they can turn things around for you too. Go to myphdweightloss.com. PhD Weight Loss is the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans. Clemson playing Georgia Tech tonight. Jeremy's going to have a pick coming up next.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Black Mountain, get ready to rock. Dark City Rock Fest, presented by Elite Events and Promotions, is coming to Silverados Saturday, September 17th, starring Saving Abel. $20 in advance, 25 day of show, and a portion of the proceeds will go to United Way, Dark City Rock Fest with Saving Abel. Saturday, September 17th at silveradoswnc.com.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingles Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingles Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Better sleep gives you the energy you need to spend more time doing the things you love. Your sleep equipment helps you manage your sleep disorder and live a more active life, but it only works if you use it. Sleep equipment manufacturers recommend daily cleaning, and SoClean is a helpful complement to your daily routine. Join over 2 million SoClean customers enjoying peace of mind. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Find out more at SoClean.com. Always follow the manufacturer's instruction. Prepayment required for risk-free trial. For contraindications and details, visit SoClean.com.
Dan Hanz is here, host of the Around the NFL podcast, and now the NFL Power Rankings podcast. Each Tuesday on NFL.com, my Power Rankings column drops ranking every team. But is that enough? Not for me. I need more. So my friend Colleen Wolfe will join me on the Power Rankings podcast as I defend my rankings and break down why teams are ranked where they are. Catch a new episode of the Power Rankings podcast every Tuesday on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
We got a game tonight. Clemson Tigers, Georgia Tech, Yellow Jackets. Clemson's 24-point favorite. Over-under's 51. For me, almost the entire question here is, how many points do you think Clemson's going to score? At 51, I don't think, whether it's Cade Klubnik, DJ Uiagalelei, I really don't care. I don't think they're putting up that many points, period. And I'll be shocked if Georgia Tech scores at all. This Yellow Jacket team is horridly bad. The Jeff Collins thing has not worked. This Clemson defense is very good. The pick was not that hard for me. Clemson minus the 24, and I will go under the 51. The music on the way in. We are a sports show, and we are proud to be a sports show. We are also proud to be natives of Asheville, North Carolina,
yes,
just like country music superstar Luke Combs. Usually in this segment, I get mad about something. This is a story that has absolutely nothing to do with sports, but it was so unbelievable that I had to tell it. His front of house guy is also one of my best friends. So the fact that this story happened, I had to give it its kudos. Luke did 2 back-to-back shows in Bangor, Maine over the weekend. Apparently, there was a 12-year-old kid and his friend Tanner. Bo Fenderson is the kid's name. They held up a sign that said they stacked 5 quarts of wood in order to pay for their tickets to this show in Bangor, Maine. Luke reached into his pocket and paid them back.
Wow.
And then invited them backstage to sign autographs and things like that. But he wasn't done in Maine. Apparently, having 2 shows back-to-back, he had a little bit of a vocal cord issue. It was a struggle all day Saturday. He didn't know what to do. So he came out and he told the fans that had 15,000 of them, by the way, that had paid to come to his show, he said, vocally, I cannot give you the show that you deserve. So I'm going to refund all of you all of your money, and I'm going to do this show for free. And then he went on for over an hour.
That's incredible.
Somebody that I know personally, I'm proud to know him. I'm proud to say he is a friend, and I know his parents, wonderful humans. I know it's not a sports story. I had to say it. Luke Combs, best of the weekend. I don't care that we're a sports show. That had to be said.
He is awesome. I love it.
True class act.
Yeah. And never forgets where he came from.
No. True class act.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's been a fun day. It's been interesting. It's been a little weird. You'll hear all about it Wednesday morning in the Uncensored Morning Show.
Oh, yeah. For those of you that clamor for uncensored content, especially things that don't specifically talk about sports, that will be happening Wednesday morning with Brian Haynes and I.
Yes, indeed. 9:30 Wednesday mornings is the Uncensored Show, and all you got to do to see it is go to the YouTube stream, subscribe to the channel, and you'll get that alert every time that we go live. And tonight, enjoy the game. I can't wait to see the Clemson Tigers. I can't wait to see who they're going to start at quarterback.
They have been so cloak and dagger about this. I cannot help but think one of 2 things is going to happen. Either Klubnik plays outright. He's just the one that trots out with the ones.
Mm-hmm.
Or he's going to have more of a role than people think. I don't feel like Dabo's doing this Jim Harbaugh thing. And if it was all DJ, I feel like we'd have known this a long time ago.
Yeah. The fact that it's not, quote-unquote, or the fact that it is a close call between the two, not a good sign for DJ. I don't think he's going to have a large leash this season. And I don't think he's going to have much of a leash tonight either.
No, I mean, this is a game where you have to come out and impose your will.
Yes. You have to win this game by 20, 30 points for people to go, okay, you're not overrated.
Today was all college football. tomorrow will be all NFL because tomorrow is our last ESPN radio show before the kickoff of the NFL football season.
That's right. We will not be here with you on a Wednesday because of Braves baseball, and that means after tomorrow, we will see you on opening night. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Have a great evening.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, it's been a rainy Labor Day Monday. We're continuing to see the rains move up from the southwest, coming out of Georgia into western North Carolina, and we're under a flood watch that continues here into the evening. Some places have had some heavy downpours down to our south. We're in the mid-60s in the valley tonight with rain moving northeast. Mostly cloudy Tuesday, 81. More scattered storms Wednesday, Thursday, upper 70s near 80. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4. The brand new Galaxy Z Flip 4 is here. Capture hands-free content from every angle with Flex Mode. The sleek foldable design lets you make your device conveniently compact. Visit Samsung.com to order your Galaxy Z Flip 4 today.
Wendy's new French toast sticks are so delicious, some are saying that they're better than their mom's breakfast.
Excuse me. Did you just say Wendy's new French toast sticks are better than my breakfast?
Mom, is that you?
Answer the question.
I said some people are saying that because they're so crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside and perfect in every way.
Uh-huh. And what do you think?
I think it's time to tell people to choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new sweet and crispy home-style French toast sticks.
That's still not an answer.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview.